a few minutes, let a couple people get in the room anyway before we get started.
Got you. Okay. Yeah, I
So how
see
was your
it.
day today? You been everything
Yeah,
fine?
it's been a Friday,
Oh,
I'm
oh,
I'm still alive. I ain't knocked out yet. I'm good.
Fridays and Mondays, it's just like it's business. Those are business days. You know what I mean? It's like at the end of the day, we run businesses, so it's like you have to deal with those days. Mondays and
Right.
oh my god, girl, I be like,
Yeah. It comes with the territory. At least I can say that, we get to manipulate our schedules and, kind of do what we want for the
mm-hmm.
most part, but it's still, it's work. And I tell people that all the time. I can work 80 hours for myself and it don't feel nothing like working 40 hours for somebody else. It's still work. I will never tell nobody it's easy, but
Yes.
it's to me it's worth it.
Yes, yes, yes. You is not lying. You are not lying, girl. That is I tell them in the beginning they really test you because in the beginning it's like you got to see how bad you really want it because you ain't really getting that money in the beginning like you was.
Exactly.
Let me let's go and say hi to a couple of people in the chat before we get started. How you doing? Late night crafting with Stacy. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming in here, rocking with the building. We got coming in rocking with us. You know what I'm saying? We got a surprise for y'all today from Miss Late Night Crafting with Stacy. Oh, and not the hold up. Hold up. Let me not say, hold up. We got an extra special guest. That's an extra special surprise, Mr. Innate Lab. How you doing today?
I'm doing all right. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me. I'm excited. Like I'm more nervous to be here than I am on my own channel.
I should say, girl, you should feel right at home, girl, because you be on camera. I mean, you should feel
Oh
right at
yeah,
home. Girl, you know what? It's some of my people, it's some of your people. We
yeah. But
just
you
gonna be
you you
together.
good people and you got good people, so it's all gonna mesh and mingle.
That's what I'm saying. We all good people.
Hmm.
How you doing, Miss Charmaine? Thank you for coming in, visit rocking with us tonight. She said, "Hey, Nate." How you doing?
What's up?
How you doing, Miss Sharon Wright? How you doing, Miss Darlene Williams? Appreciate y'all coming in here, spending a little time with us tonight. How you doing, Miss Stacy again? All right. Hold up. Oh God, they went too fast. I'm sorry. I'm just getting started with the laptop. I'm used, I was stone age. I was used to doing everything with my phone, and now I'm trying to get over to the laptop. And I got these butterfingers over here. Hey, Dims, how you doing? Appreciate you coming out here rocking with us. Hey, Miss Aisha, how you doing? Thank you so much coming out here rocking with the big boy. That too, this creations, how you doing? Miss Deborah Garrett, how you doing? Oh, Miss Creativity by Kim, how are you doing? Thank you so much coming out here rocking with us. Deez teezandthangz, what's going on, bro? How you doing? My boy, hey, shout out to my boy Junior Gang Productions. He just got his DTF stuff up and running. What's going on, my boy? Oh, T Johnson, how you doing, girl? Thank you coming to her rocking with your boy. Man, my boy over here at GD Photography, man, just got the phone with him. He's doing big things, doing big things.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying, man? Appreciate you coming out here rocking with us tonight. I'm still waiting on that big boy. Hey, don't you worry, my friend. It is in the mail. It is on the way. Y'all know what it is. If that image ain't right, because that white ain't right, you know what I'm saying? So hey,
Hey.
make sure you make sure you get you a bottle of that. All right, Miss. How you doing? Let me say we got Miss. Does business. Hello, how you doing? Okay, I like that. It's just about the business. Want to thank everybody for coming in tonight, rocking with us. I'm gonna introduce my guest right after this. We got something new today. We got a big boy introduction. So first of all, I want to give a shout out to 755 Media and Miss Late Night Crafted with Stacy for this wonderful introduction they gave to the big boy. Y'all check it out. YouTube Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I thought it was still going, man. I hope y'all let me know how y'all like that. I thought that was pretty cool. I had to put my shade songs after that. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was pretty cool. Pretty cool. Okay. All right, before we get started, let's say hi to a couple of more people, then we get started. Miss Rona Avis Taylor, how are you doing today? Appreciate you coming in and rocking with us tonight.
So Rona, yes.
Miss Rona, thank you so much, girl. You know we appreciate you. Miss Mary Brown. Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Mary Brown. How you doing? Thank you. Oh, is it showing? Let's see. Where we go? Oh, there we go, Miss Mary Brown. How you doing? She said, hey, Innate. How you doing that to this? Let me see. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it, man. Give all the props to the ladies that made it happen. You know what I'm saying? We definitely all about showing love here. Oh, there go a special one right there. I know this young lady right here. That's one of your special coaches, Miss Erica Kane, huh?
Oh yes. The one and only, the Erica Kane. Hey, baby.
Yes, Miss Erica Kane. How you doing? Appreciate you, Miss Erica Kane. And we have one more, Miss Chrissy Lindsay. How you doing? Oh, from Houston, Texas. Well, you know, I'm from Dallas, so you know, we got a Texas Connect in the building. Hey. So I'm sorry. Let's get
Chrissy,
started.
Yes.
Okay.
That's another coach right there.
Oh, that's a girl. You know what? That's okay. Let's get the introduction started, because girl, you have so much and we have so little time. Just like this, you have so much going on. We could talk about your empire for maybe like 3 days straight. You know what I'm saying? Just but
hey, we building it together now. This is essentially a part of that too. Come on. Yes, we all building this together.
Man, what you are doing is wonderful over there. The way that, well, first of all, for those who don't know, please, Miss Innate, introduce yourself to the people and let the people know who you are, because I'm so ready to get into these questions. Girl, I don't know how that.
I'm sure I told everybody this was a session where they can ask me anything, well, almost anything. I just want to give a quick shout out. I see Coach Vicky, Coach Sharon also in the comments. Like, I thank y'all I know it's late. I know y'all done had a long week. I appreciate y'all coming out. But my name is Shannon Wooden, for those who don't know. Officially Dr. Shannon Wooden, but you know, that's that PhD that's kind of watching me make t-shirts right now. But I'm here to spread knowledge, to learn myself, to help people grow, to build business, build legacy, and to help people go from a craft to an empire. And essentially doing the steps that I know well and true, that I've learned the past 20 years, helping people with Photoshop, helping people with just business branding and growing, as well as just taking whatever it is that you're really great at and growing that into a stream of income. So I'm all over the place, but I'm everywhere I need to be.
Yes. Wow. First thing I want to let the people know, how can they get a hold of Miss Innate? What we like to do is give out all, places where they can get a hold of you, where they can reach you, just in case they see something they may like. How can they order, or websites, YouTube pages, Facebook? Please let
Absolutely. The people know. Everything is Innate Lab. It's innatelab.com, INNATELAB.com. So it's innatelab.com. TikTok is Innate Lab. Facebook's Innate Lab. We also have Instagram. We have an Innate Academy that is solely focused on teaching. And then, of course, we have a Facebook group called Innate Creatives. And in the Innate Creatives group, that's where all of our coaches are. That's where we have a community that's been growing and really budding in this whole Photoshop sublimation. We're even into DTF now, and getting into almost anything that we can possibly grow in our businesses. So it's starting with the arts and the crafting side of things, and then we're getting into business building. We're getting into building your business credit, website, Shopify, whatever it is that you can think and dream of that you need to be competing in the business realm. That's where we're taking everybody with us. We're not leaving anybody behind. Our motto is no creative left behind. So this is us, and this is all we got, and we it, and that's all we need.
So before we get started, because I mean, you threw a wrinkle in my brain. You hold on. You said first of all, you have a PhD.
Yeah, I got
Could,
one of those.
can you please hold on, girl? Because it's so few of us that have those, girl. Could you first just we get the little background before we get all this? Could you tell
Yeah.
us, girl? Please tell. How could you walk away from that PhD, girl? Tell us a little. Tell us a little.
And you know what? That's the thing. I didn't realize that I wasn't essentially walking away from it. What I did was I took the PhD. It's in industrial engineering. I also have two master's degrees. One is in textiles product development, which is in the fashion sector, and the fabric sector. And then I ended up getting into engineering. So they recruited me over there. They're like, look, you know, you're into fabrics, you're into technical aspects of fabrics, you know, come over here to this side and we'll show you the engineering side. Now, by nature, I'm a creative. I like to make things. I like to invent things, you know, and it just kind of drew my attention in that direction. So once I got into the program, there's a program, and if anybody's interested in it, especially in Florida, it's called the Mcknight Program. And it took people who were interested in becoming a PhD in whatever their field was, especially minorities in Florida. And it's giving that opportunity because there is so very few of us in certain fields, one of them being engineering. I just happen to have two really great mentors in engineering, two Black female engineering professors, tenured engineering professors that that guided me through that process of the PhD. Oh, is that me, big boy?
No, I'm sorry. That's somebody.
Okay.
Girl,
Yeah,
you know, I'm glad.
I never have my ringer on, so I'm like, if a phone rings, like I don't know what that sound like.
Girl, I am so glad I don't do it on my phone no more because you know the DTF is so new. So still they like,
Oh yeah.
I'm doing a show.
Right. They don't care. They blowing you up. Look, right now I'm making the shirt. But yeah, so that the PhD in engineering it was one of those things that taught me that I can learn anything. That's what essentially education taught me. Because everything that I really wanted to know, I put a lot into. I did projects that were way beyond what the instructor ever asked me to do. I made sure that I did real world applications. I made sure it was something that I would hang on to. And I had been doing graphics my whole life. My dad taught us very young age how to draw, airbrush, paint, how to create. Like our science fair projects were literally like little mini inventions and stuff. So it was in me from a very young age just to create. What merged was I got to a point in my life where I asked God, I finally finished up the PhD. A lot of things happen in life, especially, you know, you have forces against you and you just kind of roll with it, do what you have to do. I was finally wrapping up my PhD and I asked God to give me 1 year. I even made this as an Instagram post. I said, give me 1 year to figure out this entrepreneurship thing. I want to be an inventor when I grow up.
Yeah.
I didn't like the system, how the system can stake claims to the things that were God given to you. Your talents, your even like an invention. If I were to invent something in the university system, it's really truly that university's intellectual property. And the way I felt like if it came to me in a dream, that's mine. So I love teaching. I love helping people. And that's the reason why I went on to get a PhD. My dad was like, hey, if you want to be a teacher, make sure you're teaching college students. Don't stop at this level. Whatever you do, achieve the highest level of that so that you have options. And it wasn't that, because he knows I love my babies. I love my community. I love like just adding to and building a community. So he was like, yeah, don't get stuck at this teacher level, because he saw me. And I would be the one like at the community center, hanging out with the kids, teaching them stuff, spending up all my money, taking off from work to go help them out. And he was like, if that's really what you want to do, then you build a community. You become a professor. You go and you have these graduate students, and those graduate students help you build that community, help you grow that community. So you don't have to do it alone. So I took that same exact principle and I was like, well, I don't want to go into the university system yet. I was dreading the JOB, the just over broke. And I said, you know what, I'll try it. I'll try it on my own. I went to McDonald's and got on McDonald's Wi-Fi because my Wi-Fi was crappy at the house I was working on. I was renovating the house at the time as well by myself with my own hands. That's another story. That's another story. So So all of this going on at one time, and I was like, you know what? This is what seems right. This is what seems easy enough for me to pour into, because that's what you have to do when you're building something. You have to consistently pour into it, and that's precisely what I did. And I didn't realize what I was doing at the time. I was just helping people. And just helping people, just like when I just helped the kids at the community center, that turned into a job. When I just helped people in my community when I was a graduate student teaching undergrads, that turned into a scholarship over here in the engineering side, which turned into a fellowship, to get my PhD. So I realized that all of the opportunities that were afforded to me were because I was doing what I love to do and doing it well. So I just stuck with this, teaching people Photoshop, got into making templates. I don't want to say I was the first in the game to make the templates, but I think I was one of the first, and probably one of the most passionate about doing it.
Yeah. Hold on. I don't know, cause like, I mean, I was a client. You know what I'm saying? And the way you put them all over together, it was like, yeah, just go get this, move it around, go get another one, duplicate it, put it. I was like, I mean, it came together quick. I was like. And it wasn't even that hard, you know what I'm saying? Once you get your layers, and I was like, it's that simple. That's it.
Yeah. And you know what, big boy, that is like the real gift I think I was given, because of how I was raised and because of where I was raised. It was never like, okay, well, if you know something, you talk above people. It was like, no, when you know something, you break it down so that your sisters and brothers can really enjoy the information that you've received. And when you can do that, that's a whole different type of gift. So I would take, like, I got, my education, student loans that comes along with that education and everything like that. And I took that money and I built a business. I built a brand. I built like something that I was hoping would be a legacy. Because my whole thing is, when I die, I just want whatever it is that I poured into to continue going. And that's essentially, how I live my life. So me teaching, like breaking down Photoshop templates, I realized people didn't, like, I thought people wanted to learn Photoshop. And that's what they told me, like, teach us Photoshop. And so I would, at first I would start teaching y'all what I was doing from scratch. And it was like, yeah, that 4-hour long video, I'm probably not going to do that. But everybody would come and watch it. Like, they would literally watch me do it, but they wouldn't, tackle it on their own. I said, okay, well, how about this? Now that I've spent 4 hours designing this, which probably would take somebody inexperienced a lot more than 4 hours to do it, I said, well, now I'll make this a template. It was unheard of. Like in graphic design, you don't give people your Photoshop file. Like that's, that's a no-no. But what I realized was that me giving it up afforded another opportunity for somebody else. So if they could in their communities do what I did in my, my hometown community, which is like make outstanding designs, regardless of, how much time you had or what somebody gave you, it speaks volume to that particular person in their community. So they can be the, oh, I know where that shirt came from type of business. And that's all I wanted to see happen. So selling the templates, teaching them how to use the templates, it just made me feel like, okay, you can look like you have my 20 years of experience in a 10-minute template. And that was the whole idea behind the 10-minute templates.
You are the queen of the 10-minute template. And then it's like, you made it so easy because it's like, just go download this, download that. We're going to put this right here. And then, you definitely have changed my life because of your number one pet peeve.
No hard edges. I can't do it. Absolutely. Yes.
I was making sure when I made the flyer, I said, ooh, let me get that erase. Let me get the light one. And
there you go.
No, I didn't want no listen. I didn't want no listen after the show. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you know it. And I will just as calmly and politely call it out. Oh, we don't do those hard lines. Just take care of that. Absolutely.
Oh, Miss Sexy. Is that
MS. Oh, Mary Sanders. What's up, Mary? What you saying?
Right here. Say y'all went to high school together. Y'all always been creative. That is like, wow, you know what I'm saying? That's the high school friend be like, girl, you always had it. You know what I mean?
I got to tell y'all, I was weird intentionally in high school, because I like the idea of being odd and people liking it. So I was one of those people. I would be odd on purpose just to be that friend that people could say, my friend is weird, but I love her to death, and I protect her by any means. So I was always that type of spirit. So I got to float around freely. I wasn't, I was weird, but I was never bullied. I was odd, but I always had like the right people around me, which is how I feel now. So I always had that level of protection, like whatever Shannon's doing, like you better leave her alone. She on to something
Yeah.
great. And people would support me. So my things that I thought was weird, like I would make my clothing, I would paint my jeans, I would take my granny's velvet flowers and pin them down the side of my jeans with some vines, stuff like that. That eventually got me on eBay. I was making jersey dresses and making cutout tops. And this is me teaching myself how to sew all of this, painting jeans, painting Air Force Ones and that sort of thing. And this was in high school. So I actually started making money like officially in high school. And that just like the only reason why I ever held a job was to support whatever materials I needed and whatever I needed to grow. What to me was essentially my passion. Like I said, it was just crafting to me. It wasn't supposed to be a full-time business until right before my dad passed away in 2008. So he passed away in 2010. In 2008, my dad was like, "Look, Shannon, this is obviously something that you're very good at, but if you make it a hobby, it'll stay a hobby." He said, "If you really want it to be official, make it a business. Don't go through life like I did, just really holding down this job just because he had to. He was a single dad raising two kids. So it's like, don't make this your life. I'm giving up my life so that you can have this space prepared to do whatever your mind wants to do, wherever your mind wants to take you." And that sacrifice has been what has never allowed me to let it officially go. And every year I just got to where I was like, well, you know what? I take off work to do this. I actually lose money to do this. This is it. This is it. Like if you will take off work to do something, and even if it's not making money, just the potential of it making money makes you want to take off from this clock to go clock in for yourself, then that's it. That's it.
So you just, that's it.
Yeah, I've never really had a full-time job. It's been a couple of times where my granny be like, "When you gonna get a job?" And I'm like, "Well, granny, you know what? That's a great question." So I literally I put this prayer into the universe because I've always been a lifelong student too. So I like I said, I collected a couple of master's degrees and then went on for my PhD. And I just always thought, oh, you have to major in something. You have to have a certificate to do something. And then I started stepping back and realizing like everything that ever really taught me something that I held on to that had meaning, it was something that I put intention into, that I went further and researched more into. I realized that PhD level is nothing but saying, hey, I have the ability to learn, not that you taught me something. Exactly. And once I got that down, I was like, you know what? Let me teach. Let me make an academy. Let me show people that, yeah, I have the idea of how education is run, but the only reason why you're paying for that education is because it's put in this neat package for you. Every book that I ever, used in college was also available on Amazon. I could have taught myself all of that content individually if I wanted to, but it's because somebody directed it, that, curated this. Now it is worth this value. So I said, you know what? Well, I can curate something. I can tell people shortcuts. I can put together, a curriculum, and I can lead people to where they don't have to do the long haul like I did. Like exactly. if you want to learn every in and out of Photoshop and play with it to the extent where it takes you 20 years to get that good, go ahead. I got you. But I didn't want to teach that way. I wanted to teach from, hey, every time you take a class with me, every time you touch your mouse, you should end up with an end result, a final product, something you can sell right here, right now by the end of class. And that was my goal. Hit the ground running. Because I know how it is to think you got something and, you're working towards it and it just seems like you're never quite there. But if you have a final product with very minimal effort, you're going to keep working at that. And that was the way that I decided to teach.
And you made it so easy, because like especially I made it to probably about 110 110, about 112, and but cause I was one of those. Okay, well, I got the gist of it, but
yeah,
the way you did it with downloading the fonts, it gives you. I needed the idea. Okay. Now I put this with this. You take this over here. You mix this up, and you put a little bit of this over here. And you talk about the hard lines, and I was like, okay, now I know how to start putting this together.
Exactly.
Now, one thing I gotta say, Miss Innate, sometimes we do have a couple of interruptions in the show. We all loved by everybody, you know what I'm saying? And so I definitely have some really great, I got really great admins and really, really great people. They love the big boy. And so, we have had a donation, and every time we have the donation, you know what I'm saying, we ring the bell.
Go ahead.
Okay. So, you know what I'm saying? First thing before we do, you know what I'm saying? We got to work out, because what we have is what you call a weak wrist syndrome. So when you ring that bell, you can't have no weak wrist syndrome. So what we do is, you know what I'm saying? We work out, you know what I'm saying, with it. And then what we do is we have the baby's booty bell, you know what I'm saying? So what we do, the baby's booty. Oh, yeah, Sir Quacken. So every time we get that donation, you know what I'm saying, we ring that bell. So I want to give it up to my admin, the wonderful, the beautiful Miss Craftable Thangz. I'll make sure y'all check her out every Friday at 6 o'clock. And y'all know how, I can't get it like how I want to, because, you know what I'm saying, I got to shake it real nice, like, because she's a lady.
Yes.
So thank you, Craftable Thangz. I appreciate you. For the donation going to the show. A lot of love and a lot of appreciation. Thank you so much. So thank you. I'm sorry, but I appreciate No,
you don't have to apologize. I know the drill. I know what it is. That's just what time it is. We got another one.
I'm sorry. You gotta watch it, because when they get started, I'm telling you, they will get started up. Oh, there you go, folks.
That's all right. Y'all make it rain. Make it rain. That's all right.
What's up, baby? What's up, folks? Hey, man, y'all go check out my boy, Folk Corner Cousins over there. Say that man so close. I think he might have just hit that 200. You know what I'm saying? So you what we have is a lot of crafters in here. So I tell people that watch shows like this, we crafters. You know what I'm saying? We working and grinding, trying to get our way. Trying to get our exposure. So, you know what I'm saying? Y'all go out there, holler at my boy, Folk Corner Cousins. What's up, baby? We appreciate the Folk Corners, man. You come here and rocking with us, man. Appreciate all this. Oh, there you go again, boy. I do it, boy. I'm telling you. There go my boy again, Folk Corners, man. Appreciate you, baby. Now, one more time. Man, appreciate you, bro, man. I appreciate you. Appreciate the support, man. Appreciate the love, man. I thank y'all, man. Y'all know how it is, man. Y'all know I appreciate it. Oh, did he don't tell me, did he do it again? Did he do it again? Because you know what?
I think it's a different amount. I said rain. He making it rain.
I'm telling you, when they get started, girl, when they get started, they don't know how that phone counter customs in the building, baby. Yeah, appreciate you now. Appreciate you. Yeah, I'm sorry. So you know how sometimes I got I be having to get with them. That's just how we talk when we get on the phone. You know what I'm saying? We just be cooling. You know what I'm saying? We just be cool. I'm sorry, Innate. I'm sorry. So
no, you're good. This is it. This is what matters right here. This is entertainment. This is giving the people what they want.
We gotta make sure they happy. Gotta make sure they happy. There you go. Come on. Okay. I see how you gonna act, huh? I see how you gonna do that. So you see, it's a lady. You see, it's a lady.
Okay. I see.
Oh. And see, now you done got them started. You done got them started now, folks. Look at you. Now you done got this Erica. Hold on. So I can't get crazy with it, y'all. Y'all want to know why? Because she's a lady.
Yes, she is. All right, Coach E. Hey.
Thank you, Miss Erica. Okay. Appreciate you, girl. And Thank you for coming rocking with the big boy. Okay. All right. Sometimes I be having to watch a girl because like I say, sometimes there they go again. All right. Look at her, man. I'm not saying. There go my boy. Jay Dizzle. Shizzle. My Dizzle. What's up, baby? What's going on? I'm just shake it, baby. I'm sorry.
My cheeks are hurting.
They do. I would say, hey y'all. I say, look here, miss. I say, look. I say, I got a big one on tonight. Don't y'all come on there with all them super chats trying to embarrass me in front of it. Now, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So they all got together and they all got together. So yeah, we finna make it rain on the night. So
you gotta expect it. They gotta show up when you got company now. Come on.
I'm telling you. Counter Customs in the building now. One more time, baby. Let's go. Yeah, see, you know what? I already know what they want. You know what they want? You know what they want tonight?
What's that?
They want to see me hit the asthma pump.
No. That's what
Yeah, baby. Yeah, I'm sorry. Baby. You gotta watch it because I'm telling you, girl, they buy some of them. They buy the slickest Hercules. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes they get rowdy. They get rowdy every once in a while, about once or twice in the show. You gotta watch them, girl. I ain't lying. They want
all right. They doing the thing.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Girl, I love them. I thank you. Like I say, I thank y'all. Appreciate y'all. But then we got to get back to the interview right quick. You know what I'm saying? Get back to the interview right quick. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So one thing I can say. So how did you? My question is how? Well, okay. First of all, how did the 10-minute mock-up design start? Because that is amazing. I'm talking about an all-over design in like 10 minutes, like quick. You know what I'm saying?
Well, there was a couple of things going on at the time. One was just I have to tell this story. My very first template, my admin, Erica Kane, we get emotional about this story sometimes. I was just showing people how to.
Hold on. I'm sorry because I don't want before you get into the emotional story. Cause hold on one second. Cause like I said, they be cutting up, and I don't want them to start cutting up. Go
ahead. Get it in.
Told y'all this. Y'all don't be. Y'all trying to embarrass me. But that's all right. Jay Dizzle was. Look, you see that? They want the pump. You see that? They want to see me pop that boy out there. and then hit it one time. I don't know why they want to see me just sit up here and act the food on the show, but appreciate you, Jay Dizzle, my Dizzle, baby. Okay. All right. Okay, Miss Nate, I'm sorry.
That's all right. I was trying to turn this thing. I'm still trying to get used to StreamYard.
Girl, I'm sorry.
We got to hit the pump again. Oh yeah, they showing that. Come on, y'all, come on with it.
Yeah.
I gotta do my job. I gotta sweep up the bills. I gotta sweep them all up, and bag them up, count it up, bag it up for you. I got you.
Okay. I'm sorry. Hey, 755, could you please pour me and Miss Shannon a drink? Cause with all this action, we done got thirst. You gotta excuse me. They done opened up the emoji bar. So sometimes we get a little tipsy around here. I ain't gonna lie to you, girl. I ain't gonna lie. We all grown here, so every once in a while we might have a little drink it.
Hey, I'm gonna stick to my water so I don't end up choking on y'all, because Lord knows we be doing some talking.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Now, so I'm definitely ready. The 10-minute. How did we come up with the
The 10-minute template was it was actually spawned from Erica Kane, who right now is my right hand, left brain, like everything that I needed that I didn't know that I needed in order to run a group like this. She contacted me because I was just showing people how to design on Photoshop with my little 4-hour long videos, designing from scratch. And she messaged me that she needed a design like literally, that night. And it was because someone had done something for her and it was just really, offensive and not necessarily showcasing a loved one that she really wanted to celebrate and honor. And the image that somebody else did was not really honoring that person. They wouldn't give a refund. They wouldn't redesign it. And I said, you know what? Don't worry about it. I got an idea. I didn't know her at the time, but I was just like, you know what? I feel this. I go off of feelings quite a lot, which has got me in some trouble, but for the most part, it's got me into some blessings. So I said, you know what I'll do? I was going to do this anyway. I was going to make a design that I could share with people. And what we'll do it live so I can show you how I do it from scratch. But afterwards, I'll give you the file, right? And she's like, you'll give me the file? Like, I don't even want to know Photoshop. Like, I didn't want to know Photoshop. I just wanted to make a couple of shirts, for my daughter and that sort of thing. But she was so appreciative of me staying up to 2:00 in the morning, making sure she had what she needed. She was up to 2:00 in the morning, making the food for the family and everything, for that bereavement. And like, we kind of bonded in that moment. When I put that out there, I don't know what made me say, once I designed this, you can change it out. You can change it out in 10 minutes. It's a 10-minute template. And I was like, you know what, that clicks for people, because if they see a design like this, they don't think they can do that. But if I tell you it's a 10-minute template, you start to imagine, hey, in 10 minutes, I can have something that looks like that. And that's what sparked the first template ever, the first 10-minute template ever that really like caught on, that people really felt like, okay, I can take these elements, I can move things around, I can change the text, I can change the colors, I can change the photos. So that's pretty much it, right? That's it. And people started giving me ideas for themes. Okay, well, what if I want to do football or, this, that, and the other? And I would have all of these files. I never made templates for myself. When I had my brick and mortar, I would literally design every single thing from scratch. And every now and then somebody would be like, oh, I like this. Could you modify that? But for the most part, I was doing this heavy lifting every single time. And it's because in my brain, I thought I needed to do something different for each customer. Yeah. And it wasn't until I really started sitting back and realizing, how can I scale my business? How can I take the least amount of time to make the biggest impact? Because I still want to have fire designs. Like, I want that boy that every time his mom tries to get a shirt with his face on it, that was how I knew I made it. When the kids, the athletes would say, Mom, that's fire, I want one. Because usually they would come into the store and be like, man, Mom, don't put my face on the shirt. Don't do that. Don't, they would be embarrassed. And as soon as I would show them the design, I was like, hold up. Let me show you something. Yeah. And I showed them the design. Oh, Mom, that's fire. Can I get one? I was like, you want one of these shirts? I thought you like your face on the shirt. Yeah. And it made me feel like I was doing something, because the whole point of it was I wanted to empower our youth. I wanted them to feel like superheroes. I wanted them to feel celebrated. And the way that I could do that was putting their face on shirts where the whole community is wearing them. The whole community is celebrating that individual. And even if their sports season doesn't last past high school, they made that mark. They made that impression. They gained that confidence of themselves. And then they can take that into other areas of life. So really, I started with some of those sports shirts, just, advocating for my local youth. And then once it grew, then it became, okay, well, everybody else like this too. Let me see if I can take this online. And once I figured out the online market, it was like, all right, now brick and mortar, I'll see y'all later. But and since then, I've actually gotten into a brick and mortar again. But the idea this time is that it's an academy. It's a teaching place. It's its own like university, pretty much, where it has equipment. It's a maker space, essentially, is what I'm building. Right now, it's where I shoot my videos from. I'm here now. Where I, kind of get I call it my bat cave. Like, this is where I get my ideas together and I build. And then this is where I teach the workshops when I have them in Jacksonville. So it makes it, kind of like, okay, well, now this is this was my space, but now I'm opening this up to be a maker space. So someone who may have never even owned a heat press can come in and, okay, this is what a heat press does. Okay, that's different from because I have a craft press. I have like 7 heat presses. I have large format printing. I have 24-inch printer. I have about 8 13-inch printers. So whatever it is that somebody needs to know how to do, it's here at whatever scale that they're ready to jump in at. So I can tell you, hey, if this is your budget and you're just coming in, you can go this direction. If you're ready to go big time, here you are too. And every step of the way, if you don't have a printer at all, and you can just design digitally right now. You can come up here and press your shirts or get prints until you can afford to do what it is to stand alone, if that's even what you want to do. So the idea is just developing that space so that, and I'm even talking about kids too. I want kids to get into entrepreneurship. That's my main, like, that's my love. Like, I love the youth. Like, you can't tell me that they can't do anything in this world that they put their minds to, because they're so resilient, so bright, take information and technology so quickly. So what I'm doing is I'm developing partners and coaches. Like, my coaches are literally like little clones of me right now. And I say, let me not call them little. I use the word little all the time. Somebody else do something, your little business or whatever. But no, they are big time, basically projections of the things that I've put out there. So now that they know how to coach, my goal is to, each one, teach one, reach one, and reach back. So I'm seeing it happen, and this is so surreal to me, because now the conversation I told you I had with my dad, where he was saying, hey, don't just think that you have to teach at this level. Think bigger and see how you can make that trickle down. And you help people with your overflow, not with your glass half empty. And probably all of my life, I help people with my glass half empty, to the effect where it would take so much for me that I didn't have anything left. And I knew that there's another way, there's a better way. And now I can see that experience. I can see what helping people with my overflow has helped them to have overflow, which essentially helps us all.
Mm-hmm.
So I get it now. You don't listen to your parents, you be rolling your eyes and, just kind of seeing black when they talking too long. It's coming together. It's all coming together. And my greatest mentor is still my dad, because I still hear him to this day telling me delegate. That's my biggest thing I don't do, delegate. Yeah. And that's what we on right now. That's what we're building right now.
There's like, I see a lot of people talk, but you are doing, like, you excuse me, when you say coaches, girl, you got coaches. I mean, you got people in places, you like bounce moves, you know what I'm saying? I was like, it ain't. I'm like, good Lord. I was so happy when I got that meal. I was like, it ain't. Y'all don't know. Man, girl, you are like when you say you put people in place, you literally have people in place. When this happens, I have this person, this place, I have that. What is it like to just, I mean, it's like amazing to me. You know what I'm saying? That's like a I guess like a Rick Ross or a Puff Daddy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You have people that, because you have so much going on. You have so many things. You know what I'm saying? But just to be able to, and then to be able to trust people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think that's the most important thing, is that only that you have the people, you have people that you can trust, because it's a lot of things that can go wrong that, you can't just attend to everything. You can't deal with every little piece of business.
You know what? That's the biggest fear besides mediocrity. So mediocrity has always been like my biggest fear. Like, I can't be mediocre for nothing in this world. But my second fear, which, like I said, I hear my daddy telling me this all the time. Delegate. And it's almost impossible for most of us creatives to feel like somebody's going to do something the way that we would do it, or would do it without, at some point in time, some kind of ill intent, something falls out or whatever. What I started learning through the process was that I'm not going to say this to hurt anybody, but I'm going to be real. I don't trust people. I don't, because people, we all have spirits, and our spirits can get dark, light, and then we can experience darkness and lightness at the same time. Depends on what's going on in life. You can have a person that has all the positive intent, let something happen to their family and they need money, and they may steal from you, or they might hurt somebody in order to get something that they need. So I understand those dynamics. So I don't expect anybody to be fully trustworthy. But what I do trust is, I trust God, and I trust the process. And I trust me, because essentially you're going to attract things to you that you put out, right? The energy, it can't be created, it can't be destroyed. It's literally everything that you hone it to be. So I like I said, when I was younger and I was odd and weird, and I was like, you know what, I don't get picked on, nobody messes with me, like this is a good feeling, I could be creative, I could be free. That is what this community did way before I had a coach, way before I had like anyone that I would say, you know what, I'm going to teach you to, basically do what I do. I want you on this team so that we can build coaches now. We can build business builders now. Before I had that, I had people that was like, is that Shannon Template? Are you doing something crazy with Shannon Template? Yeah, let me let her know, because you're not going to play my girl like this. Like I have protectors, and I have people who are genuinely loving and genuinely caring about what it is that we are building. It's not just what I'm building, because I wouldn't be here without the group, without all of the input that I get, all of the protection that I have, all of the marketing. I've never paid for not one ad, and I don't do Facebook marketing stuff. This is all word of mouth. This is all like people genuinely wanting to spread what it is that they found, the joy that they found, is the thing that's making their business thrive. So I like I said, I reached back, and when I started reaching back and saying, hey, like I want to coach some coaches. I want some people out there that can do one-on-ones with people, because I'm getting to the point where I can't do those one-on-ones. And then I started realizing people's true talents. And I realized that the crafting is a window. There's a door outside of that window. So the window is, this is how we all relate. This is how we all mesh. This is how we all connect. But I realized we have people out there who've run six-figure businesses, and done all of the work, but it's just wasn't their passion. We have people that have been in logistics and know about trucking, know about ordering overseas. We have people who know about, IRS, taxes, building businesses, building business credit, just in general, things that you didn't know were connected, but then all of those things start showing how, I thought life was random. I thought these experiences and this knowledge that I obtained, all these different degrees, was random, and it starts to fall right into place. And so now my objective is to take those people and give them a platform where I can say, hey, we all started off here as a crafter, but let me show you how you can run with this. And you can teach people cut and sew like Coach Q, or you can add bling to it like Coach E. We have Helena, who's like a guru in the tax world. And she's going to start helping people. Hey, don't be scared of taxes. Don't be scared of how to run a real business. We are so scared of making money. Do you hear me? We are scared of making money because we don't like, dang, this kind of don't feel right. Oh, you get that little feeling in your stomach. You got to go to the bathroom because you think you're doing something wrong. Like, that's how we feel about making money. Isn't that odd? Mm-hmm. That's odd. Mm-hmm. So we need to get out of the fear, because the fear comes from not having the knowledge. So now that I know, I have this core group of people, and I'm getting like goosebumps. I have this core group of people that I didn't know had all of this background. Coach Vicky has a background in administration, and she thinks like I do, like from a technical perspective. So we have all of these different people with all of these backgrounds, and they're so loving and giving and ready to teach. So I said, you know what, that's my next thing. I'm going to coach coaches. I'm going to get people to where they see what it is that they learn, their potential, and they're going to help grow their communities. And it's not going to hurt me, because we all need to learn something. We all need to grow. So I don't see it as competition. I'm literally like, I'm wanting to see this powerhouse, this utopian society where we control our own communities. We contribute to our own communities, and we hurt when we hurt our own communities. So it becomes something that it's a symbiotic relationship. Everybody needs this other person to be standing. If you lay down or you get put down, then it affects me. And then we treat each other different. That's my, my whole, rose-colored glasses, glass always have full personality, but I truly believe it. And that's how I act on it. This is what I believe. This is how I like my dad would say, you know, I'm gonna show you better than I can tell you. I'm gonna prove it. I'm gonna walk it out.
And the, you so you really so let me ask you a question. What did your dad do?
My dad was a corrections officer until he retired. He literally worked at a prison, um, but he was by nature an artist. Like
Oh
he,
wow.
when he was a kid, he loved to draw. He went into the military just, you know, for the resources. You know, coming up in a rural area and not having certain resources, like the thing to do was college or military. So he went into the military to get experiences and ended up doing graphic design in the military. Like he made a position for himself doing that kind of stuff. Ended up boxing, bull riding, all kind of random stuff. But just essentially a very bright creative spirit. And when he had my brother and myself and ended up with us, I was what, 4 or 5 years old. And he ended up with us as, you know, sole custody. He realized very quickly that, yeah, hey, he had started a business. I think it was called Wooden Designs or Wooden Signs. He was actually, you know, last name Wooden, and making signs and hand painting cars and that sort of thing, airbrushing and that sort of thing. And he realized he had to put that aside in order to raise 2 children. And it wasn't hard, you know, 6'3" black man with 2 little Mexican looking kids, you know, following him around. It was a lot that went along with that. But I will say that that journey taught me appreciation of every element of what he taught me. And a lot of what he would taught me was his actions and not necessarily his words. And I saw him go into the prison system, probably one of the worst systems you can get into. I'm talking about it will twist your mind, it will twist your spirit, the things that you see, the people you encounter. And
Yeah.
he turned out love out of that environment. They named the mess hall after him when he passed away.
Oh wow.
They named the actual, like, the cafeteria at the prison after him. It's called Mel's Diner. And it's like that type of personality. The women in the prison, they called him, I wasn't even jealous, they called him daddy too. Like my daddy was everybody's daddy.
Oh.
And that was something that I got a chance to have in life, that I feel like that's part of his legacy. I have to continue that, you know, to people who may not have had that dad. Like, here it is. I'll give you all the speeches he gave me that I didn't want to hear back then. Here they are, and you ain't gonna listen to them right now, but it's gonna make sense to you down the road. And I'm talking about
Amen.
grown people. So
Mhm.
that was his passion. He put it into us as far as we would do projects together. He would teach us how to paint. He would teach us how to sketch and draw. He was like, but you know what the next thing is, Shannon? It's this digital art. You know, like, yeah, daddy. He was like, yeah, because at the time I was airbrushing and painting outfits. You couldn't tell me nothing. He was like, no, get into sublimation. And sublimation was old. Sublimation is an old process. But he was like, it's the one process where you're doing all these ornate designs. You don't have to hand paint them. You can design one time ornately on Photoshop, and then you could print that a million times if you wanted to, as long as you're doing your polyester and your white. So, you know, I said, you know what, daddy, I'll take it up. I did it. And it was the one thing that kind of just made me feel like I didn't have a limit to my imagination. With vinyl, there's so many limits. The only limit was a white shirt. And
Yeah.
you know what? I felt like this: when you can get an entire community who hates white shirts, like, you know, anybody doing sports, like, it's hard to convince somebody to get a white shirt. But when you can take that community and say, hey, you're going to love this white shirt, and
Yeah.
then they ask for sublimation by name, they never knew what sublimation was before, then you're doing something. So
Yeah.
that right there, that first printer, that first introduction, him putting out those first dollars to let us work in his garage, and then later kicking us out because we were too messy in his garage. But yeah, all of that, it stemmed from just a parent already seeing what nobody else could see yet, and invest in that, putting that into us. And that's what I do for you know, everybody who's with me. Like, the same thing my dad did is what I'm going to do too, because he didn't just do it for us, he did it for everyone that he could stand to talk to, he would do it for.
That is a blessing. That is a blessing. And you, one thing I can definitely say, I see people, they be like holding classes maybe like once a month. You know, girl, you holding
Yeah,
classes. Girl, you holding court 2-3 times a week.
yeah. And you know what it is, it's I needed it to be in your face. And I realized that, sometimes we're a little hard-headed. We stuck in our ways, and the way to get people to understand something is just seeing it repetitiously. So that's how we wanted to build it. But I will tell you this is the last year. 2022 is the last year that I'm going to be doing weekly classes, because I do like literally a weekly class that's live. You get the templates, all that with it, because by the end of this year, I'm going to have so many coaches who know how to help and to do this, that we're actually going to have local classes where all of the coaches are going to be teaching the same thing that I teach in these local areas. So this is going to be a major, a major opportunity for the coaches, a major rest for me, because I get to sit back now and say, oh my gosh, this is what we created. This is what's going on right now. And I don't have to be in the center of every single city. We can do this simultaneously. We can scale this now. So I'm really excited about that.
I kind of see you already putting that in motion. Like yesterday, I seen how you came on and then you let the coach take over and then you came back in.
Yep. And the thing is, they're doing it, but and it's not just the coaches, because everybody is a coach. Because I promise you, just like you learn from somewhere, you could teach someone that as well. So I think that everybody has it in them. And it's just like, oh, well, I'm shy. I don't want to get on YouTube. I'm like, girl, come on here with me. Come on. I ask the questions. You don't have to worry about it. You got it. And everybody so far that has come on as a coach and come on the YouTube has received nothing but love. We're not going to allow nothing but love, but we haven't seen anything but love. And this one thing that I've learned in life is what it takes to be successful is to be confident in one thing. If you can be confident in one thing, it teaches you to have that confidence and extend into any other area of your life. So I tell people, hey, let's get confident in Photoshop. If you could be confident in Photoshop, you could be confident in making a t-shirt shop. You could be confident in running a trucking business. It doesn't matter, because what it is, you've mastered something, and it gives you that feeling that, you know what, I was once scared of this. I mastered it. No fears. I can tackle the next thing. And that's what I see in kids too. You teach a kid how to master one thing and they get their confidence up, then you can't tell them that they can't learn the next thing. And that's all we are. We're just going back to our innate child. We're going back to that mode where we didn't have inhibitions. Nobody told us we couldn't do something. We was bad as hell until somebody told us we couldn't do something. But we were always exploring. We were always doing something. We were always, following what our mind and our hearts told us to do, until somebody tells you that it's not the thing to do. So once somebody tells you, you sure you want to start that business? You sure you want to quit your job? You sure that's how you want to? And it's almost like you have to be that kid, that hard-headed kid who's going to feel like, I'm going to do what I want to do anyway. Maybe in front of you, I'll oblige and make you feel like I'm listening. But really and truly, as soon as you turn your head, I'm going to do what I want to do. And that's how you just have to do it. And then you have to trust that somebody's looking out for you. Kids are going to do what they do because they know somebody's going to stop me if something's getting, too out of hand, or I'm unsafe, or, they feel protected. You got to feel protected in your craft. You got to feel protected in whatever it is you're doing, because it's your gift and it's already protected. It's already in you. It is innately a part of you. And that's why we named it Innate Lab. It was Innate Designs at first. And that was Innate Academy. It's whatever you were born to do, it's already there. You already have it in you, and you can be born to create. You can be born. Some people are born to work with numbers, and we think it's something boring, but they will get excited about. One of my best friends is like, she loves numbers. Like, she'll write bills out over and over again and calculate stuff. I'm like, oh God. Like, matter of fact, that's one of my things I don't like to do. But that's essential for business too. But it gives her energy, and I'm like, we all have that about us. It's all innate, and it's just uncovering that. And once you uncover it, and you realize you can take nothing, like literally physically nothing. And an idea is still nothing, right? An idea is still like abstract, but you can turn that into $1. Mm-hmm. That's like magic. That you're a magician. You are someone who can conjure something right now, and they don't want you to feel that. They don't want you to understand that about yourself. So when you start to experience that magic for yourself, and you understand it, and you understand how to manipulate it for the greater good, it's over. It, like, nobody can convince me that that's not something everybody should at least have a piece of. Even if it's not your full time, you should at least have a piece of understanding something that you were given by God can generate whatever it is that you need to survive in life.
Amen.
And I feel like that's what we're uncovering. That's the fun that we're having. That's the energy that we're bringing. That's the momentum that's building. And yeah, it gets hard because I don't ever want people to think it's roses. It's a bed of roses. It's been times where I've slept at my shop, like my shop was where I lived. It's been times where I've been in debt $60,000 trying to dig myself out of an investment, and you know, and it's crazy because nobody will tell you that kind of stuff. They won't tell you, you know, the things that make you fear. But you know what? I still did those things, and I didn't fear that then. I just didn't have the fear because I was okay with whatever sacrifice because I knew it was on the other side. I watched my dad work his entire life and die literally after immediately when he retired. The things that we go through, our quality of life takes a toll on our actual life energy. So if you spend your entire life doing what you don't want to do and keep saying, you know what, I'm gonna make this up. You know, one day it's not gonna be a hobby. One day it's not gonna be a hobby. It's not gonna be a craft. It'll be my business. Like my dad was like, no, make it now. You don't have kids, or even if you did have kids, you work around that. You make your kids your models. You make your kids a part of your business model, a part of that legacy, the reason why you do what you do. And my niece and nephew were that for me. They were my on my left and right hip, and it was like, who do I take my degrees and get this job that I could probably be making six figures? I probably could, but then I'm going to pay so much for daycare. I'm going to, you know, I'm going to lose my creativity. I'm going to feel like my brain is being pimped out. I already knew all of this, and I was like, you know what? I'll start from the bottom. I'm okay with that. Living as a student, you're kind of okay with a lot of stuff, being, you know, a little substandard. I drove my dad's 97 4Runner up until a year ago.
What?
I don't care. Like, to me, it was a means to acquire something that I wanted. And what I wanted is not the money. It's not even like the stuff that I could show off. It's like a video game. You know how you get addicted to a video game? It's a challenge. This is how this whole thing is to me. It's this video game where I feel the challenge. Whatever's in my mind, I want to see happen in real life. So if you ever had one of them dreams where you felt like you could pull it out of your dream and it feels so real, and I don't know if you've ever pulled something out of your dream, but that's what it feels like. And I won't stop until I'm not dreaming no more.
hold on, NA, because I can see you like you're like sky's the limit. I can just see you like once you give it all up, and then you're like, okay, well, I got them coaching. Now you're like, what am I gonna do next? What's
right. And you know what the crazy thing is it's almost like what I want to do next, it builds that necessity for what I need to do in this transition period. So what I want to do next is actually there's quite a few things that I want to invent that I've kind of had drawn out and in my head for a while, right? But in order for me to invent, I have to have quiet time. I have to have blocks of time where I'm literally, you know, away from the world, and I just get in my bubble, you know, my little Albert Einstein mode. And that's what I'm looking forward to doing, but I can't do that with what I've started. I have to put something in place. I have to keep the machine oiled. I have to make sure that my babies are taken care of. And I feel like it's coming together. It's doing that on its own. And as long as I'm not being impatient and feeling like it has to happen right now, and I'm enjoying the process, then it's okay. And that's what I had to learn. I had to learn to enjoy the process, the hard work, the late nights, the not knowing when a bill is going to get paid or how it's going to get paid. I had to enjoy that process because that's a hard thing to enjoy.
Girl, you over there like enjoying. I feel like I kind of just am starting to come up out of it, and I can honestly say I enjoyed the process of like the learning and going through it, but boy, that rent and electricity.
You gotta love it too, because I'm telling you, that feeling that you get in your stomach, like you know, what's the TikTok thing that feeling that you feel in your stomach? That's what drives you to create the solutions. And when we kind of realize that, you know what, and I tell you, you're not a Photoshop person. You're a problem solver. You solve problems. You're an engineer. Something in you is basically finding a gap and filling it. Then you are your own answer.
Yes.
And I like I tell you, I know because I done been all kind of ups and downs and all kind of wrenches thrown in the plan. And I feel as if I've never officially wanted to give up. Like I've never been like, you know what, fuck this business thing or bump this business thing. I'm gonna go get this job. I've always felt the opposite. Like I've always been like, damn, I'm gonna have to go get this job. Oh, what can I do? What can I do to make money? And I find a way. I will find a way. Even if it's the bare minimum, if I can make the bare, and that's what I'm saying. I set my expectations to where as long as I survive, I'm good because I know my quality of life and the life energy that I have is not going to be dwindled by doing something I don't want to do. So as long as I can do what I want to do and I can maintain, baby, I can make it. And I think if we let go of that fear that, well, maybe I'm not going to make it. Maybe this car get taken back. That's what the trap is. The trap is get a job, get a house, get a car that if you were to lose that job, for a fact you couldn't afford that stuff. And you've already gotten accustomed to it. So me, I don't care. I will wear the same thing every day. I make uniforms just so that I don't have to worry about what to wear every day. I will wear the same type of image every single day because I feel like, number one, it's marketing. I can write that off. Number two, it's not something that's making me feel like I have to indulge in one thing and sacrifice something else. So the only thing that I do, I don't drive anywhere unless it's for business. I literally will not get into a car and run any gas unless there's something I can do for business along the way.
Okay.
I just restructured my whole life. Like,
wow.
And it's a lifestyle. It's like a game. Like if I need to go to Walmart, dang, what do I really need for the business? Because if I'm going to go get this cereal and milk, then I need to also be making sure that I'm doing something along the way for my business. Because I know that when I go there to Michael's and I pick up this stuff, it's a walk to Walmart, not a drive. I didn't waste any gas doing anything that's personal to me. I only use my resources for business. And when, like I said, it's a game. I'm like, I don't even like video games, but this is like, to me, something that I have to figure out like every single day, like, oh, how can I make this work? Or, what can I spend this on that it might not be, I don't need 7 heat presses. I barely even make shirts anymore. I don't even want to touch making shirts, but I do it to teach. So I will, make sure I have those resources available to really like reach others. And then eventually I know it's going to make its money back. I'm not worried about that. I'm just really concerned most about is what I'm doing contributing to something greater? Is it making me happy? Is it fulfilling? Does it leave a legacy? Is it something that, if you, lost your job or you died today and you had a job, can you pass any of that on to your children?
Yes.
And this is what you can pass on.
Yes. I have one question I definitely want to ask you before we do. I want to ask you, I want you to think about it before, because we have a couple of super chats. I want to knock them out right quick.
Yeah.
How does it feel? Because this is where I feel like I'm at the step now to where I feel like I'm at the point where I need at least someone to help me out to hire. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You have a nice organization. How does it feel, and how does it, to have people that's going to be depending on you, you know what I'm saying, for, definitely with the coaching, and then, like I said, I know you have the products, and I definitely want to get into that too, but how does it feel to have, people depending on you as far as, you know what I'm saying, like, as far as the business goes on and that whatnot, because I don't, I'm trying to carry,
Let me, I'll put it to you like this. It's like the business is your baby, and the people that you put into place to help take care of your baby are also like, let's call them step kids, because it's not like they're the immediate baby, but they still mean that much to you where you want to take care of them. You don't want to let them down. You have these levels to things. So in this scenario, like, I can't let them down. So the same way that I can't let my baby down, I can't let my stepkids out. They're still looking up to me. They don't need me. They have their parent. They don't need me, but I'm a bonus to them. So in that regard, I want to be as much as I can for them, because it helps them be what they need to be to carry on. And as long as that's what I'm pouring in, I do have times where I worry or I'm concerned about, like, how you're going to manage and maintain paying somebody. Because initially, when you're doing it yourself, you can look at your books and be like, okay, I can survive off of this. And then if you eat ramen for a month, it's cool. Like, I can do whatever I need to do in order to sustain my business, and I don't think about it as a loss. Somebody else doesn't feel that same way. So the way that things are set up and structured is everyone is their own business, their own entity. I'm not your boss. And Erica will tell you this. She laughs at me and she'll be like, "All right, boss," and I'm like, "Partner, all right, partner, all right, partner. I'm not your boss. I help you strategize. I will help encourage you. I will help you with my experiences to kind of lay them out for you. But you are your own boss. And when people feel like this is my thing, they're gonna treat it differently than when they feel like, oh, this is your junk, but this is my thing." So that's how I operate it. And everybody can earn affiliate money. Everybody has a way to earn their own money. I don't like you coaching and you're doing one-on-ones. That's your business. What I've done is I've made sure that you have the ability to coach. You have the tools that's required to coach. And then, you know what? I want you to feel like this relationship is so good. You don't want to set me off. You don't want to set me off. And I think that's how we have a genuine partnership. That's the only way I really see a partnership, is when everybody feels like they have their own stuff. Exactly. Otherwise, it's like, you working for somebody else again. You pulling somebody else's load. You making somebody else rich. I don't want anybody to feel like that. I was ready to quit that job to do my own thing. I don't want you to be ready to quit me to do your own thing. I want you to stay a part of the partnership.
I love the way you structured that. You know what I'm saying? That is really cool. That is, man.
You give people a piece of the pie. Yeah. You have your products. Like, you literally create affiliate links and say, hey, anybody that tells somebody about my product, you don't have to have a Facebook page to do this. Anybody can share an affiliate link and a 10% commission sale. And it's just as easy as them, if they sold 10, if they recommended this to 10 people, their product's free. So you start to get people now, and you wonder how multi-level marketing schemes really hit people. It's because everybody has that dream that this is mine and I'm going to build this company the same way. No, you're not really building your company, you're building their company. But when you actually have a piece of something, you actually have stock in something, you are a shareholder at this point in time, you treat it way different. And that's all I ever wanted. All I wanted was somebody to look at my stuff like it was theirs. You know how somebody gonna treat your PlayStation different from how they treat their computer, and it goes the same way in business. This is yours. You can treat it however you want, but if you don't nurture it, it's gonna die, and that's on you. But that's your business. It don't have nothing to do with me. All I can do is give you my tools and what I genuinely have to add to you. I can give you that, and at some point in time, you start charging for that, and that's how you really, you're making your money, because you pay the price for the experience. You've led some people along the way. You have some success stories. You have people that can say, you know what, Shannon over here is the truth. So you have that now. You've established that. And now you start to monetize that feature. You start to monetize coaching people, teaching people, leading people. But you did it all genuinely. You did it all organically. You didn't, just pay to play. You really put in the work, 10 toes down, and proved it with your work, and not necessarily just telling people, hey, here's something that I can do, and you put it up and they figure out later that it's not what you can do. You've already proven yourself. So you're doing the steps correct right now. And what you're experiencing right now is called growing pains.
Yes.
And it just happens when you start to get a little, just hitting puberty, your bones and your muscles start hurting and stuff. It's just growing pains. Yeah. And if you can realize you're going to get past that, as long as you stick through it, the world is yours. It's yours.
Yeah. It's really, 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 really nice, and I'm glad that people even reach out, get to the point of where they actually look. I need to bring somebody in, and they can afford to bring somebody in.
People, Erica forced her help on me, and I'm happy to say that, because she was like, after I told you I helped her with her cousin's project. And then she was like, okay, if you ever need anything, like you came through in the clutch for me. If you ever need anything, I got you. I was like, okay, great. I didn't really know how people could help me at the time. And she kept, kept messaging me, hey, you need any help? I got you. I was like, I'm straight. It's okay. And then she was like, she just started helping people out of nowhere, like just forcing her help on people. And what it was people would have these questions, and you might call them the Dumas questions, right?
Okay.
So some people was asking some Dumas questions, and instead of me answering them and like trying to get back to people with all these replies, she would say, look at 22.04 minutes of this YouTube video. That's going to answer your question. So she didn't know Photoshop, right? But she would watch all of my videos, and she knew where to tell people to look to find whatever answers. So she literally like forced help that I didn't know that I needed. And that was just because she genuinely believed in what we were doing, and she genuinely wanted to help. And that turned in, and she was like, don't you pay me nothing, whatever. I'm doing this because I want to, because you did something for me, and I'm going to forever be grateful. And that turned into, you know what? I kind of like this help thing. I kind of like not answering every Dumas question. Like she's literally, she's putting those in place. And in the process, she came to every single class. She would help out during class. She would get on the people that moved ahead and did stuff like, I'm too nice. And she'd be like, hey, we're not gonna move ahead. Y'all don't do that. So she did that for me. She literally would recommend, products and that sort of thing that people needed just to keep my workload down, just to keep my brain to where I could make templates, I could make content. And she ended up learning Photoshop in the process. Like literally learning something she never intended on learning, and she can help people to this day. Everything that I could do on there, she knows how to do all those steps. And that relationship was just built from just truth, just what it was that we both meant to one another, and we didn't realize what it was until it was essentially a partnership. So that's what it is. So she'll call me boss, and I'll be like, all right, partner. Like I'm telling you, from day one. That's my A1 day one. I give her that.
A1 day one. Oh, I'm
telling you.
That is
absolutely wonderful. Complete stranger. And that's what happened. A complete stranger can change your entire life. A complete stranger can believe in you and see in you and pour into you the same way that you poured into these hundreds and thousands of individuals. Like she is literally giving me that back, and so many others have too. And they don't know how much I'm truly grateful for my tribe. Like I really feel like that's what it is. It's a family, it's a unit, it's a tribe. We might get a little dysfunction every now and then, but ours ain't really as dysfunctional as a lot of things out there. So I'm very proud of my family. Like everybody in my family, doctors, lawyers, got PhDs, got businesses thriving. They stock traders. That's how I really feel about my group. So I feel like, we got the creme de la creme.
Okay.
And we mesh well together, and we encourage one another. We keep each other going.
I love it. I love it. That's beautiful to have a special team like that together. You know what I'm saying? And that's amazing how everybody can get along, get together and get along. You know what I'm saying? And that's probably due to great leadership. You know what I'm saying? You're only as strong as, you know what I'm saying, your weakest link. And I can see how I just tell that you are very, technical. So you make sure from the up high all the way to the lowest of the low, you make sure everybody are happy. So let me go knock a couple of these out right quick.
Don't get it in.
Let me make sure get the wrist right. Want to give I appreciate your phone callers, baby. Thank y'all. See you got started again. Thank you so very much. Appreciate you so much, bro. I appreciate you, man. Y'all go over and holler at my boy Phone Collins. He done hit it again. He's still trying. He's still on the grind, still trying to make it happen. But he is growing pretty fast. You know what I'm saying? We all in the process of learning. Phone Collins again, baby. Thank you so much, Phone Collins. I sure appreciate you, my boy. And then, my fellow cowboy lover fan, anybody, when I need me some cowboy stuff to put on the shirt, I'm always going to holler at my girl, Deez Creations. I'll go over and holler at her YouTube page, too. She's doing good things. I always got some cowboys. Appreciate you. Oh, I got to watch it because she's a lady. Thank you so very much. Thank y'all so very much. Y'all know I appreciate everything that y'all do and everything y'all give. Now, Miss Innate, now you have Oh, I'm sorry. You have accumulated not only with the coaches, you have your own product. Could you please bless our game and tell us about the products, the affiliates, everything that you have going on? Because girl, inquiring minds, we wants to know.
Absolutely, absolutely. I will say that when I started, I've always had like the things that people could purchase to do what I do, just because I always would keep spare. And like I would be that person you can go to, hey, I need a shirt, or I ran out of ink, or I ran out of paper. I would be that person. I was like, you know what? I think that this goes hand in hand with what I'm teaching right now. So I have always like sold ink or whatever, but it was never to a certain scale until I started researching about the multiple streams of income, and just thinking how I could build and pivot. So everything I do, I'm looking at, is this scalable? Does this go a direction where I can 10x this? If I can't 10x something, I don't want to do it. So I got to that little spoiled point where it's like, yeah, I'm not making shirts anymore. Because my goal is to build a platform where the people who are making shirts can grow their businesses and make shirts, and have these fire designs, and still do it locally, do it online, whatever the case may be, and I can help grow them. Then I become a success through their success, right? So one of the things was the products, and I have been using sublimation, like I said, since 2008 is when I started doing sublimation, because I stopped hand painting in 2008. So I've gone through at least 12 different types of ink, and I was like, you know what? I don't like blurples, those blue purples. I'm a color person. So when I would see something on my screen and it would be something different, I would freak out. Like it didn't look right to me. And I remember I did about 50 shirts for a team, and I printed the prints the night before. So I was real proud of myself, because I had a 7710 and a 1430 back then. Ooh. And you know how slow they print. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and get my prints done tonight. And I stayed up till like 2:00 in the morning, make sure everything printed. I'll press them tomorrow. When all those blues looked blurple to me, I had it. I was done. And you know what? The customer didn't really see it as much, like, because in the sunlight, it looks different. There's a such thing called metamerism. So in one lighting, it looks like it's very similar. In fluorescent light, then you go to incandescent light, or you go to sunlight, and it looks totally different. So if you ever thought you was matching when you was in the house, then you walked outside in the sunlight, and that sunlight, that that D65 sunlight, tells people that you weren't matching, baby. You thought you was, but when you out in the world, you look off. You look off. So my stuff was off. And I was just like, you know what? I'm not going out like that. I know too much about color theory. I know too much about this process. I've been doing it too long, and I'm not going to accept that that's the only answer. So I went on a hunt, and I've since then like really found a manufacturer that I really find to speak to what I want to put out there to the world, which is True Colors. So that's the brand of the ink, is True Colors. And it's pretty much, you don't need an ICC profile to use it. It works so great straight from Photoshop, because what you do is you let Photoshop manage your colors. You don't let your printer manage your colors. You don't let random ICC profiles manage and go and mess so much with saturation, and I want to push my magentas to this level. I did all of that. I would literally push my blues on my screen to where they looked like a nasty, almost a greenish blue, just to get a blue. My reds, I hated orange reds. If I saw a red and it came out orange, I immediately it would be unattractive to me. My reds have to be like rich and deep, and they have to like convey that, because sports is what I was doing mostly. In sports, people don't play about their colors. No, like you're not gonna give somebody a purple cowboy a star and whoa. That's okay. Hold up. Not God. I was trying to tell you.
Girl, we gonna cut up. We gonna cut up.
That, and you know what? One of our classes that we hosted here in Jacksonville, we're making our personal stuff, and someone was making that for their personal project, and I could tell on the screen. I said, "That's gonna be purple," and she was like, "No, it was blue on my screen." Mm-mm. you could tell by the tint and the official term is hue that something has, where it's going to shift to. Even with sublimation, you can tell where it's going to shift to. And that's just experience. So I was like, well, I have all this experience. I know what something's supposed to look like. I know where to find it. I know how to source it. Part of my background was also logistics. Part of my background was sourcing when I was in textiles, was sourcing internationally and that sort of thing. I was like, I know how to do this. It's so funny how all of this comes full circle. So I was able to source product. I have ink for the large format printer. The Teez 7270 and 5270 can be converted to sublimation just by using refillable carts and using this ink. And when I tell you this pro ink is on another level. Like the colors are so vibrant, so rich. Like it anytime you print something desktop printer, you're gonna be like, ah, man, I want to go to my big boy now. So yeah, that's what I call my printer and my printer. They big boys. So you over here, you branded over here. Just know you always got a place. Innate Lab, big boy is always working and producing over here. So did a large format ink. I have the desktop ink that pretty much works for any Epson desktop, whether it's the 8.5, 13-inch printer, that sort of thing. It even works for the F570s. So got into the ink, did some substrates. Socks. My socks are my biggest thing. They already have the jigs inserted in them, and I just did that because one Christmas, and I tell people this, I did like 28K in 3 weeks on Etsy on one of my Etsy things. So one of the and I told I'm gonna put together a masterclass on how that happened, because it was literally a fluke. It was, like I said, I was down $60,000 trying to fix this house, and money was running out. COVID hit, material supplies went up. I couldn't find contractors to help me with certain things. Timelines were getting extended. Money that we had borrowed to do the project was, non-existent, and we were paying interest on these things. So I was in the hole. So I was like, you know what? I got to do something. And I did ugly Christmas sweaters. And I put them out there December 1st. By December 23rd, they had sold 28K in sales. And it was the sweaters and socks. And the thing that I did with the socks, you have those jigs, and those jigs used to burn my hands up. So I said, you know what, if I do this the next year, I'm going to have some socks manufactured that have the jigs already inside. And when I did that, I was able to pump those socks out. And I use something called the taco method. And I teach people about the taco method. I wasn't worried about if I flipped my socks the wrong way. It worked out perfectly. I didn't really have that large white seam down the edges. And I was like, I'm onto something. Let me put other people onto this. So I started selling the socks. So I have like a few blanks, graduation stoles. I think I have some masks on there. Not a lot, but that's what I'm getting into next, is basically ensuring that I have blanks, but my business partners, my coaches, my partners are able to get things at a price where they're in the United States, and that they are accessible at a price where they would pretty much be buying them overseas for that price. So instead of calling it a buy-in, I already have it here, and you're able to get it at such a low rate that you're not even worried about waiting 6 months to get something from China that's sitting in the water in California right now. So that's what I'm working on. And that's my incentive to my business partners. My business partners like, look, I'm going to take care of you. You ain't going to want to go nowhere else. You ain't going to want to cheat on me. You don't want to stay loyal.
Girl, she the plug. What you talking about?
Right. And that's what I want to be. Like, I want to, but I want that to be us for one another too, because I want somebody else to say, you know what? Well, you don't have this, Shannon. I have a supplier here for this particular product. Why don't we add this to the mix? So then I have the warehouse space. I can warehouse them. And if y'all need them, they're here at a rate that you all can get them from without having to buy them in bulk. We all shouldn't be doing the same stuff. We all shouldn't be warehousing the same stuff. Yeah. And now my business partners are even able to distribute the ink. So if somebody in their hometown or even close to them, like, hey, I ran out of true ink. Shoot, I need this today. I got a project to do tonight. I have a business partner in Houston, Coach Chrissy. She can get them that ink right then. Erica's in Chicago. I get you the ink right then. We utilize stuff like Uber. Uber delivers packages. I have Uber delivered to you within the hour.
What?
Yeah. So I'm encouraging people, don't think you have to have a brick and mortar to do this kind of thing. Don't put yourself in debt just to have the access to people, because you already got it. The technology is there.
I did not know that. That is a good one right there. That is like the I'm like, hold on, don't even worry about it. I got you, player. They gonna be over there about you gonna be home 35, 45 minutes.
Hey, I'm trying to tell because we've all done that. We're all so kind of wrapped up in what we're doing that it's like, dang, I dropped the ball and I forgot this. But when we can all pull together and say, okay, like even amongst the business partners, we have certain rates that we'll print for one another. So yeah, my rate is $14 for a large format print, but you're a business partner. Your printer broke down for the day. Come over here and get these 50 prints for me at this rate. And basically, or I'll give a business partner the job because they're closer to my client. So I have a business partner in Louisiana, G, and I'll send my prints to G, and I will literally, I can make a print for $2, right? And I can sell it for $14 and make a profit. Or I can send it to G and I say, okay, well, here's my rate that we have. I will actually lose money giving it to them, but because my customer gets it a day early, they're happy. That happy customer is going to keep coming back. And then I don't mind sharing that because it's sharing the responsibility, it's delegating now. And I didn't know what that meant before. Like I looked at it like, oh no, that's my profit. No, that's my time. That's my energy. I'm not even at the computer right now. I would have to rush home, to print this out for somebody, but I can call this guy up who always answers my calls and is like, oh, you need it? I got you. And that's how the business partnerships work. And I think everybody's running their own thing. So they are wanting their businesses to grow. So they want that connection. They want, okay, well, I want to come through for Shannon. So when she needs something, I'm there and she know to call on me. So we all have that incentive to do better. All of us.
That's that's truly that's one thing I can truly say. I'm glad that we got together because I know you have a nice loving family and we have a nice loving family, you know what I'm saying, and we need to interact and connect and work with each other because I know so many times, especially on my lives, like I need to learn how to design or can somebody design and this and that. We can all, what I'm saying, we need to be able, such and such, we'll move this person and that person. And
right.
That's the, what I'm saying, the beautiful, the most beautifulest thing, that we have going on, the love. But, we have to make sure that we put each other in place and make sure that, what I'm saying, if we buy from each other, make sure that, the people are doing the right things with
Amen.
it. So
you know what I had to give up? I actually gave up designing for people. I actually gave up printing for people. So I have this big old printer and I said, you know what? I'm going to give this to my business partners. I'm going to let this be their stream of income so that it reinforces what I believe out of them. And it also I'm not directly competing with you. I want you to understand that I'm willing to give some things up too. I'm not just asking you to not do this, that, and other. These are all these rules. You can't. I'm saying, you know what? I'll step back and I'll let something go in order to let you grow, because I really do feel like that's going to free up some of my time too. And that time is money. And you can hire somebody to be right in your face and do these things, or you can make sure that you put something in place where it's going to take care of itself. And those people are going to answering those emails and responding to these 1 hour design requests and stuff. I had one request while I was out of town at my mom's funeral. And I was able to say, you know what? I actually charged $200 for 1 hour designs while I was there.
Wow.
I had two jobs that still pushed yes on that $200 job. This is just a PNG design. Or just a PNG design, and sometimes they'll want the Photoshop file, and I'll give them the Photoshop file with that extra $20. But yeah, $200 is what they paid for me to do a rush job artwork for 1 hour, and I had two of them in the same day. And I was like, you know how sometimes you set a FU price just because you like, hey, I was literally in the pool with the kids. I got out of the pool with the kids, took out my laptop. I was like, hey, I'll do it for $200. Yeah, here you
go. Yeah, because I don't want to make it seem like I don't pay them, like I didn't see him. We'll just, I bet you when they was like, ding, 200, I'm like.
But see, now I have the coaches, like somebody will have an option. Now, when somebody says, no, I don't want nobody else to do it, it's got to be Shannon, then there'll be a Shannon fee. But right now, I think everybody has been able to show that, hey, with these templates, like she's going to give you the same thing. Like literally you're designing something just like I would design it. There is no difference. If you are choosing a color theme, changing some words up, changing some photos up, it's going to look just like I would do it. And it was some people that would purchase art so much. And I was like, look, give me an hour. You give me these $200 all the time for these rush fees. Give me an hour. Get on the computer with me for an hour. Let me show you how to do this.
Yeah.
That I would rather teach you to fish than keep selling you the fish. Because I got upset. I like, because it's a little disruptive too when somebody like does an hour design and you have to get to it. You have to stop whatever you're doing. So it wasn't like I was mad being disrupted. I was like, this person obviously has the funds to do this. They obviously have the business that supports a $200 design. I know they can learn this. I know they can implement this for themselves. And then the people that can't, I needed to have people in place that could. So that's where the coaches come in. They can design the PNGs just like I can. And they can set their own turnaround times. They can do one-on-one lessons with you. If you want to watch them help you design it on your computer through Zoom, they'll sit there and go through it with you and make sure that you have a final product. That's what I needed to happen. So I relinquished my ability, to earn them $200, rush fees if I wanted, because I was like, you know what, there's something greater that's going to be built here if I give that up. So I gave that up, and then I started building the coaches up. And once I build the coaches up, then I have a whole nother curriculum that I can teach, a whole nother lane, a whole nother revenue stream. And that's what I'm on now. Like these multiple streams of income, literally building itself.
Yes, that's what I'm on.
Making money while you sleep, literally making money while you sleep instead of sleepless nights. That's what I had when I was when I was working brick and mortar, sleepless nights. I would be up till 2 o'clock in the morning, every morning at my shop. People would come up to the shop and be like, oh, I didn't know you was open. I'm not open. I'm finally getting work done, but I love y'all. But y'all gotta let me go. Y'all gotta, if you love me, you gotta let me get some rest and let me kind of reserve some of my resources. And I'm a person. I'm gonna do everything to the best of my ability. And sometimes that's not gonna give you your best results because you're gonna put so much into it that you're not reserving what you need to build the next level of yourself. And so, I could be the greatest t-shirt designer in the rural town that I was in, and I could have all the best contracts and really actually make very good money for that particular area. But can I scale it? The answer is no. Can I make 10 times that? The answer is no. I had to figure out things that I could scale. And one thing that you can scale is the digital side of things. You can scale a business like that if you plan on franchising it. If I planned on having one in this town, one in this town, one in this town, and then my artists can work for all 3 of those locations, I don't have to have an artist sitting up in that store in all 3 stores. I can have an artist sitting at home with my templates and feeding designs to those 3 stores. So I have one artist now working those 3 stores, and then I just have somebody that can basically stand up at the computer and collect the payment.
Wow, that's amazing.
So that's what I'm saying. It has to be something scalable, and when you start thinking on that realm, you start solving problems that you didn't even know existed. And then when you solve the problems, you tell other people your solutions, then you can sell them your solutions. And they're ready to pay for it because by this time they're tired. They're tired of trying to design from scratch. Look, Shannon, I done watched the 4-hour video. It took me 20 hours. I don't even like what I came up with. Where's the $20 solution? Oh, the $20 solution is right here, 10-minute template. And I asked the question in my group the other day, what's the most that you've made off of a $20 template, right? Nobody said $20. Nobody said $0. Everybody's like $100 or more. So you took something for $20 that didn't even physically exist. You made at least $100 and made it actually exist. Now that is a walking advertisement for you. That I think a couple, I told you mine was one template I did 28K off of. That was the Christmas sweater with the socks. And I gave y'all that template. That's like class 117. I don't know which class it is, but it's the Christmas with the socks. I gave y'all that template, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna see if somebody go do what I did with it, and people are doing it now.
That's great.
One of our coaches, Coach Chrissy, has done double digit, so pretty much at least $20,000 in graduation with the graduation 125 template. Because once you put it out there and people are like, oh, I haven't seen that before. That looks like nothing else that I've seen. then you become that go-to in that area. And she did stoles and shirts, all kind of like the graduation items that went with that template, and put it to work. And we're talking about a graduation season. So
You
I
know,
know what they can do, but it's not the templates that are doing it. It's
yeah,
you doing the work
yeah, man,
and
yeah.
then putting yourself out there.
That's one thing I was gonna say is going through the classes. Um, it's unique how I made mine look like this and somebody else look
Oh
like that.
man, that's a beautiful
And it's
thing.
crazy
Yes,
because we all using like the same
yes,
thing, just like a
yes,
different color. We
yes.
all got one picture and you be like,
Mm-hmm.
what? You be like, hey, George, man, that looks.
Right.
It's
And
like,
I'm telling you, I don't even know they're my templates sometimes when people in the group are posting, look what I did with 125, look what I did with this. I'm like, oh, that started as the same thing. Every class, because at the end of every class now, I have people share their screens and show me what you ended up with.
yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, like I'm so proud. I'm such a proud design mama bear. Like it really, like I promise. And I think my pride in them kind of, okay, yeah, I did a little something, everybody trying to be humble, but in reality, you are crushing it. You are doing things that literally took me 20 years to learn how to do. You are doing these things amongst your peers where your stuff is really standing out. And then you have the confidence to take on the big projects. Now you'll tell a
Yeah.
school that, hey, I'll take your contract. I'll do 500 shirts for the football team and for their fundraiser. Like you just built that confidence. That's it. Just because now you think you got the design sauce. You don't need nothing else. Everything else is just a process. Pressing is a process. Finding the right, True Colors ink is a process. You found it. It's a system now. You know how to do that. Now, even the design part is a system. You don't have to worry about how it gets done. Like I said, you could take the first 8 classes, right? You don't
Yeah.
ever have to do another class again because
It's good.
you can literally be enrolled and just get the templates because you're getting 8 templates a month at $30, a month, that membership. Oh, that's the other thing. That's other stream of income, that subscription service. So now that's another stream of income. Having something that people want to unlock every single month. They want more of you. They want, okay, I developed this bit of a success with this much of you. How much more can I get? How much more success can I gain? And really what they're doing, they're unlocking their own potential. Even though they're giving you credit for it, they're unlocking their own potential.
And not only do you get like the designs, you already have the fonts in there and everything. You know what I'm saying? That's like, like when you pay for the monthly subscription, it's so much that you get with it, and you let me see, you get the monthly subscription, you get all those funds, you get all the stuff that's downloaded. You don't have to go out there and find it. You just click on it and you go like right to it, just download it. And then you have the class. Now, one thing, here's what I'm gonna say. See, I got 6 kids. My nerves be bad, girl. So I be like you be in and I'm just gonna keep it 100. I'm just gonna keep it. Girl, I was watching one of this, and you are just so patient.
Yeah,
Because
I am.
Girl, I be watching one of them, and you would do something. You would do 2 things, and you would go back. Let's see where everybody's at. And it'd be like, well, they ain't did nothing. I be like, look at her now. Girl, come on now.
Don't do that, big boy. That's why I'm not on camera, because my voice has patience, but my face tells it all. I love my babies, and I love the ones that need help the most, because I understand it, and I understand that those are the people who usually won't even try something, right? Like, because they feel like, man, I don't want to I don't want to be the person that drag the whole class down. But here's my thing: if I can make that person feel like a success, that's it. That's it. That speaks for it. If I can make that person feel like a success, that person by the end of class is like, you know what? I was so scared of Photoshop, but I did it. I didn't think I could do it. And then they go tell that next person who thought they were scared. My very first clients that I would do one-on-one sessions with, how I started, because I was just showing people stuff on YouTube. My very first clients were like Black women in their 60s, right? Because they were like, you know what? I have my money together. I want to retire. I want to do what's in my mind. I have these ideas. I don't know how to put them to paper. Nobody will teach me Photoshop. And it's like people were discriminating against them as far as teaching them. And that's how I got into, you know what? When this 60-year-old lady says that I taught her Photoshop, that was all the advertisement I needed. That I'm telling you. And they'll show what they did. Look what I did with Shannon. She's so patient. They coined me. I have the patience of Job, and I was like, okay. Okay, I'll take that.
Yes. You are very, very, very patient, and I have to give you because I was like, whoa. No.
And I'm telling you, like G&D photography, you have the ability, you already know photos, you already know like the science really behind Photoshop. If a simple tool can just get you to where you don't even have to take the classes, basically once you design one template, you pretty much know how the rest of them go. I have some quirks and some built-in things that I show. Like every class, I'm gonna show you something different. I'm gonna elevate whatever it is that you think you know about Photoshop every single class. But it's simple enough to where every single class you can go in and have never touched Photoshop. And I've never seen that before. Usually a class, okay, I got to take this class before I can take this class. That's how the college system is built, right? And I was like, you know what? No, I want them to see this design. No, hey, Valentine's Day is coming up. This looks like something I can use for Valentine's. I don't want to have to take class 100 to 130 to take 131. I want to be able to take 131 right now. And that's how it was all designed. Any 100 level course, you can hit the ground running. That's my motto. No creative left behind in class and hit the ground running. That's it. And that's where that model like really started making people feel like their own successes. And they can attribute it to me, but really and truly, like I said, once you get your mojo and your confidence up, that's all it takes to master anything. So I like I said, I'm impressed. G&D, I've been seeing you do your thing, especially with the templates and the all overs, and even outside of that, then people start learning how to design from scratch because they're like, I see how she do this template thing.
So you know G&D?
Yeah.
Oh wow! Because I just got on the phone with G&D, and he does some outstanding work. He was just showing me all this work. I was like, hey.
I remember him telling me, "Oh, I'm going to pick up my large format press," and I was like, "Ooh, baby, you about to kill it!" I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to pick it up today. Email me a picture of it. Oh yes, and that's what I'm saying. Like I'm proud of that sort of thing. I'm not like, you got a large format press, cause I got a large format press. Like we ain't got time for that. Like I don't know who. Like, I don't know who really feels like they're going to be able to capture the entire market of everything. Now, yes, I have boundaries. Like I'll say, hey, if I sell ink, don't talk about your sublimation ink in my group. But I'm not going to be like, you can't be a part of my group because you do this. No, because there's something we can learn from everybody in this unit. And I think we all take that, and we're not disrespectful. We don't, get at each other's throats and that sort of thing. We are really very nurturing and encouraging. And that's what we need, because life is hard enough. Like we all trying to make it.
Amen, girl. That you know what, and that that's one thing I love. You know what I'm saying about my That's one thing I love about us. You know what I'm saying? Because we just, you know what I'm saying. We all, man, we look out for each other. This portion of the show has been brought to you by the best unit resin. Y'all definitely go check out the best unit and pick up some of that resin. But yeah, like I said, you know what? I'm a firm believer, and letting people know that it's enough money, for everybody. The person that actually taught me about DTL is you know what? You know him too, and he I know he in here somewhere. He probably lurking. Oh, Mr. Anthony Alexander.
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
Yes. Now he over there with DTF Cove.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I think he was on the live. You and him popped up on the live at the same time the other day. So yeah, absolutely.
And he's
done some of the Photoshop classes too.
Yeah,
he was in the academy. Okay.
He turned me on to you.
Yeah.
That's what happened. I was in there hating one day. I was watching the show, and he was just up in there. Yes, man, with his little Tennessee Titans and there Henry and the I'm not going to hit. That's my boy though. That's my boy. But yeah, that's my buddy. You know what? He actually came down here and we went to a football game together, so it was so lit. But you know, that was
That's
one thing.
cool.
I remember the first time I was like, I can't say, I got Innate. She coming on the show. He was like, what you ain't got to so did. He was like, he was like, that's okay. I'm gonna be there. I said, I know it is. Girl, you touch so many people all over the place. It is like it is crazy just how you have grown and touched so many. Hold on 1 second. Hey, thank you, Crafty Leo. Thank you. Hold on. She's a lady. Thank you, Crafty Leo, so much. But girl, how does it feel like to just have touched so many people, have grown like this right now, like the skies is the limit. Like I know it's feel like it's moving so fast,
Right.
especially with what you have going on. You finna step back behind the scenes a little bit and let everybody go in and take, you know, their course. And
Right.
you know, how does that, you know, how do you feel for that?
That feels like that is the dream. I've always asked God, even as a child, like I want to be wealthy so that I can spread that wealth. And I never imagined that the wealth, I always thought it was money. That wealth is the knowledge that you acquire.
Amen.
You can always get things with what you know, and it doesn't have to be money. We can barter. We can, you know what, I know how to do taxes, let me hook you up on this, and you do my business shirts that make me stand out, because when I go out, I don't want nobody with tax shirts to stand out the way that I stand out. So we can look at those systems and really like feel like, okay, well, I am adding to, I'm not taking away from, I'm not using up, I'm not using somebody. I don't feel guilty about anything that I do. I really feel like everything that I put my heart into is attributing to something else greater. That's my win. And then the money and what comes along with that is a bonus. Like I don't look at that as much as I look at, am I hitting my goals? Am I helping more people? How can I grow this? How can I get this certain budget so that I can develop this thing that has been in my head for 5 years now? The matter of fact, the buddy has been something that's been in my head for 2 years now. 2 years. And I was like, you know what? I finally feel like I can take a little bit of a step back from teaching classes and develop this buddy. And I felt like it would help so many people, especially like doing all overs with the small format presses. This was something I struggled with. And I was like, you know what? I can teach people the way that I did it, but I know there's got to be a better way. And when I dreamt about it, and it like literally, I'm telling you, that's how I know my things are my things, because I dreamt about them. I'm not scared. Nobody else is gonna take them, because if you're in my dreams like that, then you deserve it. If you can come and take what's in my head, you deserve whatever you got. So I don't fear that, but I do look at it like you have to protect. You do have to protect what is yours. You do have to kind of do it with this mindfulness and this intent, and then the rest is going to grow with it. So that's another stream of income, is actually developing products. I told you I wanted to be an inventor since a kid. I wanted to be an inventor, and I never heard anybody say that growing up. And people would look at me crazy. Even my engineering professors would be like, and you want to invent? Like, what do you want to invent? And I remember there was a invention submission competition in college, and not one professor would sign the paperwork for it, because you could win $50,000. The professor would get $10,000. And it was all college based. I couldn't find one professor to vouch for me. And that's when I said I was going to become a professor. I was like, in the college world, it should make all the sense that they would want to develop people who are free thinkers, people who could solve problems of the world. That was every intention of every project I ever did. Can I solve a real world problem? I didn't like theory. I didn't like, theoretically this formula should be able to know. Can it help my business grow? Can it solve a problem? So I had a science fair project I did in high school. I won first place, and it was an interchangeable high heel shoe. And I did that.
Hold up, it was a what?
An interchangeable high heel shoe. So it was a design. To me, it was fashion, right? Because like I said, I've been all over the place my whole life. So to me, it was in a dream. I had a shoe because I wasn't allowed to wear high heels. Of course, I was in high school. I was a sophomore. I was a sophomore in high school. No, I was a junior in high school, but I still wasn't allowed to wear high heels like that. So in my dream, I had on these high heels, and then when I saw my daddy, I had to snatch the heels, off. So when I woke up, I felt so guilty that I was like, you know what, that should actually exist. So I started telling my daddy, like I had this dream. I didn't tell him why I had the dream. I was like, I had this dream. It was an interchangeable shoe that went from low to high heel. He was like, you know what? That's a cool idea. I didn't expect him to like it because he's a guy. Like, what does he know about high heels, low heels? But when I did it at the science fair, I actually literally constructed it, put magnets in it, and I made it change designs. So the heel would change from like this metallic blue to a gold, to a suede black, to a leather brown. So I had the foreground of the shoe and the heel would change the height, and it would also change the patterns and materials. So I contacted companies in China. This is high school. I contacted companies in China. Hey, I need you to send me samples to make shoes. I didn't know how to make shoes. I made high heels from scratch. I tore apart one of my shoes and made it. And they put it in the engineering portion of the science fair. And I was like, this ain't engineering, but I guess it was fashion. I was using variables to, show how many different variations you can make in the structure of it. So I guess they called it engineering. Didn't know I was an engineer. So it won first place in engineering. It was all male judges. I did not expect it to do that. So I was like, why these judges? Like, I really thought they were going to be ragging on me because I thought they would look down on me because this was a girly kind of project. They said, you know what? This would save my life. Me and my wife could go on vacation. You mean to tell me she could take one pair of shoes? And I was like, you know what? These men, and these are like prestigious, like engineer. They're all engineers because they're judging the engineering part of the science fair. And I was like, wow, they just gave me a whole pitch that I didn't even know about. I thought they would hate it because they wouldn't understand the discomfort of wearing high heels and low heels. But that was back then, and I never had seen it invented. It wasn't patented or anything like that. I saw it on Shark Tank when I was in college. And I said, you know what? That was my missed opportunity. Somebody in Florida, not saying that there's any coincidence there, but someone in Florida went on Shark Tank, beautiful personality. They won the sharks over at Shark Tank with a very similar idea. It didn't function like my idea, but just the concept was very similar. And I was like, you know what? From that point forward, I knew I wanted to be an inventor. I wanted to solve problems. And I like form meeting function. I like it to be pretty, but it has to serve a purpose. It has to solve a problem. And I've been like that my entire life. I built sofas before that had form and function. I have made dolls that served the educational purpose. I made, literally painted their faces, made their clothing and everything to educate kids about culture. So wow. I made some ancient Aztec dolls for one of my projects in school in textiles. So it's like I'll find a way to make sure that whatever I do is fun and has function. Like it has to be form and function. And from there, like that's been my goal is that, well, now I want to call myself an engineer. I want to call myself an inventor. I want to claim it. I want to claim my genius. I do. I'm tired of like feeling like we can't go there. We can't say that this is what we are. We can't claim these ideas as original because somebody like, man, shut up. Somebody already thought of that. You ain't. No, put it to use. And I don't care if somebody takes the idea and makes more money than me. I'm still going to have the pride in saying that this was something I developed, and you can't take that from me. You can't take the next idea that I have. And I think that's when we all get happy. When we get in that creative space, we start creating. We're closest to God because we're creating. And nobody can take out of that zone. When you're actually making something with your own hands, like you're in creator mode, and that, you start to unlock some stuff. And when I started unlocking that for myself, I was like, you know what? Other people have this innately too. You're unlocking the creator in you, and you have that direct connection to God. It's like, that's my gift. No, nobody can take it from you. Nobody could tell you that the experiences that you developed over time haven't been able to build a solution that somebody else can't think of at this moment.
Exactly.
So that's what I say. Even in Photoshop, we are problem solvers. Give yourself that credit. Put some respect on your name. Put some respect on your own name. I'm telling you, you'll think differently about what it is that you do. Because we'll be like, oh, I just jerry-rigged this. No. You just innovated a product. You just innovated a solution that didn't exist before. Stop downplaying it. We are some very, very innovative, creative, thought-provoking, most original idea having folks on this planet, and have been since the beginning of existence. Because we have trials, we have tribulations, we have things to overcome, we have solutions to create. We aren't given something, we got to figure out a way to gain it, to get it. And that's why I won't take any of the things that I've been through for granted, and I darn sure won't take them back. That this is a part of my process, a part of what I had to understand in order to know.
So much knowledge, so many gems dropped. Good Lord. And hey, girl, you
y'all got me going today. Y'all didn't want me preaching today.
We love it. We love it. You know, that's the main reason. Like I say, we bring you on the show because we need, you know what I'm saying, to know, you know what I'm saying. Sometimes, like, but how did it happen? How did it all begin? You know what I'm saying, and things, like places like this. We have to, you know what I'm saying, give you your gems because. A lot of people start, you know what I'm saying, and they get the brick and mortar. They get, you know what I'm saying. You have surpassed so many levels. It's like a tree, you know what I'm saying, like you the trunk, and you have all these different limbs, and then off these limbs you have leaves, you know what I'm saying, that's growing off these leaves. So like each like a tree limb is like Miss Erica Kane, and to where now she's branching out. She's getting leaves to where it's making it, and then one of her leaves is going to turn into another branch to where you can literally see like the lineage of this. You know what I'm saying? And the way you do it, the way you've done it, and the structure that you have, there is literally like there is no limit to how you can grow. It's you.
And that's it. You hit the nail on the head. And I think once we take limits out of our expectations, like I'm not gonna expect I'm not gonna have expectations for the worst of things, because that's still a limit. How bad it can go is still a limit. It can go lower than you think it could go. That's still a limit. So if you take limits and expectations out, you can't be disappointed unless you had an expectation, right? So the only thing I'm doing is I'm doing for the moment. I'm doing for what it is that I'm currently saying that I want. And here's the thing: when what you say lines up with what you're doing and what you're feeling, when those three things align, then nobody can take you off of that path. It's only when one of those things get convoluted, somebody says something, hurts your pride a little bit, makes you kind of question what you're doing in life. And that's why I say people don't realize how their words hurt. I literally have, in the past 2 years, it's been a whole lot. I can't even begin to describe it. One day I'll write a book, and I'm sure it'll have a lot. It'll be a lot in it. But I've had to literally fix myself. Yeah, must read. And especially when I make it to that billionaire status, it's going to be bestseller. That I feel. I feel it in my spirit.
Well, you know what? When you make it there, just let me open up the door. So let me walk Fido or something.
Man, I'm not. You're not gonna have to open up my door, because we ain't gonna have no doors. Ain't gonna be no ceilings, no walls, no doors. We're gonna walk side by side. Like, this is just our land. This is our plane. The plane is indefinite. This plane is literally, there's no end in sight, because we can just see clearly everything that we need. And it's going to be ours for the taking. And the thing is, we're not going to be greedy, because we know it's ours.
Yeah.
You're not going to be on your own land trying to snatch up all the crops because you feel like, oh my gosh, somebody else might take. No, those are your crops. Calm down. They're going to be there when you need to eat them. Them herbs going to be right there. Chill out. And I feel like that's how we're going to be able to
everybody. Yeah. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. It's enough for everybody.
That everything that you need or you want is in abundance. And when you don't, I know one time I had something happen to me a couple weeks ago, and I had to laugh at myself. I was like, "Ooh, I'm not living in abundance with the abundance mindset," because I thought something was like wrong. Like one of my business credit card, it was a prepaid card. I'm building business credit and that sort of thing, and they send me a message, and you get that, ooh. it was like, your address has been changed and we're sending you a new card. I was like, oh God, somebody done stole my business card, or something's wrong with it. They don't figure something out. They don't reduce my business credit or whatever.
Oh no.
It was them turning it into an unsecured card, and they're sending me a new card. And this is Wells Fargo. And Wells Fargo been shutting down. I ain't been giving nobody nothing. So I was like, well, I was not living in abundance because I was scared to call Wells Fargo and be like, hey, Wells Fargo, why are you sending that card again? What happened? Because I was using the card so much and using it for inventory, using it for my purchases. They saw it was like, this business is actually a business. This business is actually turning out, they're charging this, but they're paying this off every single month. What are they doing? So I trust them with my money now. So they gave me an unsecured card and put the money back in the account. I was like, oh, I got to spend this up for the end of the year so I don't have to pay taxes on it. But all of that good stuff, like it was a blessing. It was my abundance that I had mistaken for something I had done, like maybe had done wrong. And that's my limitations is what caused that reaction. But literally the actions that I'd taken and led up to that is what granted that blessing. And I just had to think, and I was like, whew, I wasn't living. I'm telling you, I was laughing. How sick I felt in my stomach when I first saw the message. I had to laugh at myself afterwards because I was like, you so used to limiting yourself that you thought that was something bad. And that's a whole blessing, a whole celebration.
Amen. I'm sorry. I'm over here with these testimonials and stuff. Over tearing me up. I'm over here having hot flashes.
Quan, woo! That's Quan right there. Quan, you did 3,901.
You're the other one. She was looking at her. She was like,
Quan said one calendar day. One calendar day.
Look at this. Look at this one right here.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about, man.
So this what I want the people, to know and see. This is why we bring Innate on. You know what I'm saying? Is because listen, she is actually here showing people, taking you step by step, how to make these templates, how to make these processes to where you can make digital money. Digital money is hot right now. You work one time and you just get paid over and over and over again.
I'm trying to tell you.
Like you was. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say that's the best type of money to make. The money where you don't have to physically place your hands on nothing for an extended period of time, and it continues to do what it does.
Amen. That is like I say that is the best currency because like. You don't do nothing but just send them that, that file, and it's just amazing. It's just, that is wonderful. That is like the hottest thing, right now that I've seen is this digital currency. You know what I'm saying? Because
right.
a lot of people don't want to. I say the hottest thing in the industry right now is two things: transfers and being able to design.
Right.
Because a lot of people, they can't put things on certain, and the other one is they can't design. A lot of people just like, and that's right. And you knocking really out both of them. So,
and you know what? That's why I gave that up to the business partners to be able to print the transfers and do the designs. Because this is what I say. This is what anything in life. I told you I like to marry form and function. Where I come from, either you're an artist. In school there was the art side. I was in the fashion design, textile side. Or there was the engineering side. There was no one like me who was in the middle that said, yeah, I want to make this hot technical shoe that could be fashionable, but also had ways to break down and could be ergonomic, could attenuate the shock energy. So it would help you if you're wearing high heels, your knees won't go bad and your back won't go bad from wearing them. Like those are the things that I would do. And I was like, you know what? The same thing is happening in this design community. People may know about the process. They might know, okay, well, I know how this printer works. I know how to get some prints. I know how to optimize the system and everything, but I don't know how to design. Or I know how to design, but I can design a mess out of something in Photoshop. I don't know the first thing about putting it on a shirt. And when you can marry those things, when you can take form and function and literally marry those things and make it simple on both sides, then you are a combination that cannot be reckoned with. And we can all be that. And that was my goal. Like, hey, to let you know, hey, I'm gonna let you in on a secret. It's not just me that can design like this. You can too. And people didn't believe it at first until, like I said, you had the people that was out there like, hey, I don't know what, patient Shannon got, but she got me to where I did this today. And people be like, they could look at something you designed before, but you did that. I'm on board. And that's what I say. It's showing better than you could tell them. Just prove it, walk it. You don't even have to talk it. Just walk it.
Mm-hmm. I was watching one of your lives. I think when you was you had, I forgot the coach name, but it was with the DTF, and you were saying like,
oh, coach, G
yeah,
Money.
and
you like, did you talk to G Money today? I was like, you don't have to call him G Money. That's the name of his business. Well, people do call him G Money, but they like G Money. Yeah, G Money.
And it was unique because you were saying that now you have to learn how to not learn. You say you're gonna learn how to design for DTF, and I was like, that's strange. Everything you taught me in Photoshop, but that's how I design for DTF. You go get the splash,
right?
And, I think DTF is easy to design for because you can literally use like the shirt for the background.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what? You the main reason why I got to redo my logo too, because if you stuff it right there, you see them hard lines. I keep looking up back there. They be like, "What's wrong?" My home will be like, "Why you redo it?" They be like, "I love your design. Why you want to redo it?" And I don't want to tell. I want to be like, "Y'all don't see them hard lines right there." You know what I'm saying? And
you know what? We become our worst critics too, because we have that discerning eye now. Like we're not just going to accept anything. We're a little bougie about our designs now. We don't do the hard lines.
Yeah,
so absolutely.
I'm like, hold on a minute. Do y'all not see that hard line right there? Right there. No, if Innate was here, it would be some smoke in the city. I would tell you. So for everybody to be like, "B-boy, why are you redoing your logo?" It is because I was trained by Innate, and this has some. They don't understand. That's a big deal. That is, I can't. Right. I'll be designed. Is that? I just know. I know.
They're just principles. It's all like I tell people, design is all subjective. You can have an object to what you're doing, but there are no actual rules. It's subjective. Yeah. But once you have a way about how your eye perceives something better, you know better, you do better. And that's the thing. I just want to make sure you at least know better, so that when you see something, it makes you uncomfortable when you see something that isn't balanced, or you feel like this doesn't look right. Everybody else can say it's fine, but you start to strive for a different level of excellence.
No, I'm ruined on those. I'm just ruined. So I'm sorry. I'm ruined on those lines. It's just even when you get into it, just makes everything look so much better. Oh, let me get my cards. They fail on me. Let me make sure, because I want to make sure that we cover pretty much everything. Because let me ask you a question. When somebody say Innate, do they call you the queen of Photoshop, or would they call you the queen of the all over?
Well, you know what? I get a lot. They also dub me the doctor of sublimation, but and I can't even say it's the all over, because y'all gave me the all over game. I was not into all overs. I used to do a whole bunch of 13 by 19s, because my thing was I do as much as I can on that 13 by 19. It wasn't until I was introduced to you all, like the sublimation community, where y'all were like, you know what, Shannon? Like, we want to see some all overs. And I was like, okay, then. It felt like it was a natural progression for me. And so many things I've actually learned from this community. So if anything, I feel like I am the subject. I am the student of the all over. And I might be, queen for Photoshop. I'll take that. I get GOAT thrown out here every now and then. And really and truly, I take it all as a challenge. So I'm always going to be looking to do more and better, but I'll take it. It used to be like, I'm like, no, I'm not going to say I'm the GOAT, but whatever. Y'all say I'm the GOAT. Y'all said it, not me. I'm good. I'll accept that. I'll accept. Especially if it turns into a coin at some point in time. People coin the phrase and it turns into an actual coin in my bank account. I'm the GOAT. You're absolutely correct.
Yeah. Because it's just like you making so. It be like people be talking about Photoshop like this. like it's hard or something. Like y'all must ain't been over there in eight boys. You
I'm
sure
trying to
made
tell
it
you.
look easy.
I'm
You know
trying to
what?
tell you.
I still got my original, like no, I had to throw it. But like my first one, I never didn't want to throw it away because you know my first I got a 44 inch too.
Yeah.
And so my first print, it had the lines on it and everything. Because I was just so happy. I forgot to take the lines. You know how the lines
It had the guidelines on there.
Girl, I had to. Girl, I was so happy. I was so excited. And then my son came out clean with the background. Had the lines. He was faded. I was like, ooh. I was like, oh. So, right, you don't understand. You really helped me out because I got into sublimation, and I'm a 5Xer. It's 5X's over here. So 13 by 19 looks like a little strip.
I know what you mean.
You know what I mean? So I already knew, look, Big Boy Prince was originally, look, we doing it for the big people.
I hear you. See, I'm telling you, the name of something can bring out the purpose. Go ahead. Go tell it.
So I already knew that 13 by 19 wasn't for me. So we went and had to go get the 44 inch just to make sure it was going to look right. Because, you know, when we get out, you know what I'm saying, we can't be going after with the fellas. You know what I'm saying? They know how to make shirts too because they gonna clown. Oh, they're going to talk about
it. That's a hell of an advertisement too. That is technically like that's you are your billboard. The more people can see, the better. So that's why you see me. I'm printed all the way up, all the way around. I'm gonna go around wherever you can see me from, whichever angle. You're gonna see something that I did. That's it. I pull my socks on the outside of my pants because my socks got decorations on them. My mask gonna match whatever I'm wearing. You're gonna be able to look at me and tell, I wonder if she made that. Yes, I did. Yeah. Here's my card. And actually, I don't make shirts for other people, but I teach you how to do it. So if you are interested or anybody you know is interested, you don't want to do it, I got some people that do this. I bet there's one in your town. I have coaches all over the nation. Like that's literally my conversations now. Like I don't even be like, yeah, I make t-shirts. I had to stop wearing the shirts and say I make shirts because I would get mad when people ask me to make shirts. Like, no, my coaches, they're all over the place. I bet you could just drive to one right now and they can make you a shirt like right now. Just not my place, but yeah.
Wow, that's just like that. You just on some P Diddy, Jay-Z girl. I'm so excited, so happy for you.
I appreciate it. And I appreciate you sharing that with me, sharing your success story with me and with others as well, because I believe that's where it comes from. Like, it's not my success, it's our success. Because I promise, if I had one person that, did something right, we wouldn't all be here. It had to be collectively people saying, hey, this is where I got this from. Did you hear about this? And what's so funny is that usually in the design world, we're so protective about where, what our plug is or whatever. Yeah. But when I tell you that our people have literally put this on the map, I could not have done it without the fellow creatives. When I tell you that them, I don't advertise. Like the most that I do is just put out content. I'll continuously and dedicatedly put out content. But they're the ones like, hey, you missed Shannon's video yesterday. Did you see this? Or, did you see this template right here? Girl, you better go get it. It's a flash sale right now. Speaking of which, there's a flash sale right now. Anybody that signed up for the newsletter, all the templates are $7 instead of $20 and $30. All the templates in the academy and all the templates on Innate Lab are $7. And that's only if they sign up for the newsletter. And the first newsletters have already gone out because they're going to get a special code. So only the people that sign up for the newsletter on Innate Lab. Y'all got they missed it for Black Friday, so I did it again. And I only send it to the people in the newsletter. So I got to sign up. That's how we get them emails. That's how we get that marketing going. That's how we get that funnel going. That's how we get the multiple streams of income. That's how. That's one of those methods. And I'll tell you how I'm doing what I'm doing too. So that's a whole nother thing. Like I'm going to tell you how to be a boss in this digital lane. I'll tell you how to be a boss. If you want to teach people how to do something, I'm going to give you my steps.
That's crazy. And that's one thing, I can definitely say, that, a lot of people, they just be like, man, I ain't chilling, I ain't teaching, I ain't doing nothing. I feel like the more you give and the more you give away, the more you do, the more blessed you'll be. So,
absolutely. That's what I'm saying. You're not living with limits. You're not living with fear. When you try to hold something Imagine like I remember this analogy of somebody saying you're trying to get your hand in that cookie jar, right? And you try
Yeah.
to grab as many cookies as you can, and you got so much that you can't let it go. You can't get your hand out of that jar, and it's because you're not living with the thought of abundance. You think that when you take your hand out that jar, you can't get another cookie at some point in time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's how we're treated. So like you literally blocking your blessings. You can't get your hand out the jar. You're gonna get caught in the
Greedy.
hole trying to be greedy, and it's not even yours to be greedy over. It's all of ours.
Mhm.
And then
Yep.
if you live like that, you don't feel like something is threatening to you at the least. Now I will tell you this: I'm not the one to play with. I'm loving. I'm nice. I'm patient. But when somebody does something to me or against me or against like kids or somebody that I love, I'm a beast. But I'm not a beast in the sense that I have to have that retaliation. It makes me work harder. It makes me show. It makes me prove. And it makes me like stand up for those who can't protect themselves. So that's where I am. And I've become, whatever it is that I need to be in that moment. But I won't risk what it is that I built. And I won't let somebody else like bring me to something that I'm not, because I know what I have to lose. What I have to lose is if I'm not here, I can't be here, not just for my family, but I can't be here for my community. And that's
Yeah.
what I'm really here for. So I can't say that I'm here for my community, but then I'm going to go off the rails and do something crazy and not think about the effect that that has on my community. So everything I do it with purpose and I do it with intent. And that is everything that we do with purpose and intent is going to flourish at some point in time. You just got to keep at it. Even if you're bad at it, if you want to do it, you just got to keep at it.
So what is it like to because this is one thing that I'm trying to wrap my head around right now. You know, things happen and what is it like to be able sometimes you have to think 3 steps ahead of the game. You have to be
Yeah.
because
And sometimes you get put back 6 steps and then you still have to get the 3 steps ahead. I'll tell you this, I've probably lost more money. I've lost more money probably doing the right thing. I've lost a
yeah,
lot of money doing the right thing because I will not allow for somebody to lose on my behalf if it's something that I built, I'm responsible for. Like it's just just like that parental instinct. Like my tribe is something that I don't take for granted. So there's so many instances where I've literally lost money. Nobody will ever know it because I'm not going to make you pay for a mistake that was not your responsibility. So I'm going to take that one. And every single time I've had one of those setbacks, and I've had to, like you said, think 3 steps forward. I had to think 3 steps forward because I was 6 steps in in debt. You understand what I'm saying? So that
yeah,
necessity made me be forward thinking. So now I'm thinking, okay, well this problem that caused me this setback probably also cost some other people some money or caused them grief, distress. I'm talking about things will get us so upset sometimes, especially when these businesses are our babies. We'll get sick. We'll literally be in a hospital. That's how
still
things
trying
get.
to. Mm-hmm.
So when it's like that, and then once you're in the hospital, how you gonna pay your bills? How you gonna support your community? How are you going to continue to put your content out there? So what I've learned to do is to take that energy because it's just energy. I can transform it. Remember, we magic, we airbenders and stuff now. Like we can take an idea and make money. So I was like, okay, I take that energy and I'm going to transform it into whatever I need it to be to get past this issue and start building on the next. And I promise you, every time I do that, I develop a solution that somebody else, I've had people literally take from me, and act like it's their stuff.
What?
And oh yes, baby, it has been bad. But every single time that happens in a large way, my tribe is going to stand up for me. My tribe is not going to accept that. My tribe is like, no, you're not going to take something that we saw. We saw the development of this because I always develop the things with y'all. So when they see
Yeah.
that, they basically establish that standard for people. And you're gonna have some people that just don't care. They're gonna bootleg the mess out of something. They're gonna get it how they live. That's fine.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I have a very respectful community that protects me. And when something bad does happen, it's almost like the buddies. We're supposed to get them out in 4 weeks. We had one single part that I couldn't get, And it took almost 7 weeks to get them out. And everybody was like, you know what, Shannon, we don't care. We know what this can do. We're supporting you 100%. Don't you worry about that. We got your back. And I felt so much pressure. Like, I felt bad. But for them to encourage me, like, hey, we understand. Ain't nobody ever put nothing out there like this. We didn't know you could get it done in 4 weeks. So if it took 7 weeks, fine. And now we're able to get them out like pretty much as they're being ordered. It was only because like my community was so supportive that even when I had the downfall, they kept me up. And that's what I needed to believe that I can continue to do it. Because making your own product, it got to a point where like you do start to doubt. Like you'll be like, do I even want to put? Maybe I should just refund everybody their money and not do this part. And that would have been the worst thing. That would have been the worst thing. So because of the support, you're able to keep pushing, and that's what you're building. You're building this community, and that community is meant to be there for you just as much as you are there for them.
Amen. Yeah, I know I know our little community, we got I don't know if you've heard of the best unit. She is our mama. She like Mama Uni. She keep us all together.
Amen. All right, Mama Uni.
Mama Uni, she makes sure everybody is together. And so what is it like to be like say best unit? I mean, she talks to everybody. What is it like to be able to have everybody on the phone and keep everybody together? And then just like what you were saying earlier, it's like you have people in places that have the work, you know what I'm saying? So if you're in Chicago and somebody needs something in Dallas, like me in Dallas, you have somebody in Houston, but they already have the machines and everything. You have everybody, in place. So, man, how is that? Like you say, you've had people, you know what I'm saying, take from you, try to change something up a little bit. How is that like just to have that community, and then they have your back to where you're like, don't worry about it. We got this.
You know what? They won't let me worry about stuff. It's like they'll handle it before I get the chance to worry about it. And like what that affords for me, what it truly affords is my peace. And one thing I say now, and I've learned this over time, I used to think, I'm going to do everything that I can think of just because I can do it. I'm gonna pay for peace. I will pay for peace. And one thing that this system has afforded me, and I say it's a system because it is a system. It's a well-built unit that I didn't intend to build this way. It just happened naturally. And that's why I say it's whatever it is innately in us is what is forming this right now. So I can't take full credit for it because it's really the spirit that is in all of us that's laying this groundwork. And all I'm doing is I get a chance to step back because I have peace now. I'm not all over the place trying to do every little thing. I have peace. I can step back and I can say, you know what, y'all are really hustling and bustling for me, and I see this path, I see this way. Let's play with it. Let's see what we can do with it. And people are really willing to. My first business partners, they're my founders. We hadn't had this established before. They're experimenting right along with me, and they're okay with the ride. They are enjoying the process. Yes, it's hard, but they're enjoying the process. And I feel like it gets to the point where that process is going to be so automatic, they don't realize that they got a chance to step back and not work so hard and see the fruits of their labor and see that in somebody else and be proud of it. So all of the coaches have that type of spirit. They have the type of spirit where they want to see someone else succeed, not that they want to be somebody's overlord. And I don't get that. I don't get how you can come from not wanting to be a part of somebody else's machine system, but then you want to invoke that on somebody else. So none of us have that type of spirit about ourselves. And we all have our little thing that we want to protect, as you should. You got to have something worth protecting because honestly, that's your gift. But at the same time, we don't fear, and we're not fretful of what somebody's going to do right beside us. Because what you need this person to raise up and rise up with you in order to tell about your success. These coaches go out there and do the same thing I did and get another 60-year-old lady that was like, you know what? Coach Chrissy taught me how to do Photoshop and I would have never touched it if it wasn't for her. They're going to say the same things about you that they said about me, and you're going to be able to invoke that same success in a fraction of the time because the platform has already been built. All you have to do is the repetitious. It feels like, mundane, like you're doing the same thing over and over again, but it's a system for a reason. You keep doing it, you keep putting in the work, you keep the consistency up, and you'll get the results faster than me. And that's what I'm trying to tell people, like, hey, if I could pay for somebody else to tell me how they would not have done something, I'd rather have the information on how you wouldn't do something than how you did it.
Yeah.
Because you can give me everything to avoid. I can figure out how, you know, how the good stuff goes. Tell me what not to do. And let me get that book.
You know, I'm definitely one of those, you know, I like to sit back and watch and be like, oh, what happened? Oh, he did that. Oh, he did it first. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna watch that gravel pit he ran into and watch that left boulder. So I'm definitely one of those like, oh, okay, yeah, I see what not to do. So
right, exactly.
You know what, that's truly a blessing, you know. You're truly a blessing, you know, all the coaches, the fonts, you know what I'm saying? You know, my first time coming into Innate, coming to your website, I thought I was just I'm gonna get over, you know what I'm saying? I was trying to design my first all over, but I didn't know how to do it. I was like, I need a guidance. I need a guide, you know what I'm saying? And I was going over. I'm like, man, how can you get like a t-shirt guide? At first, I was trying to make one, trying to draw it. I'm like, nah. And so somebody was like, man, you go over there to just go to this website called Innate Lab, and they got all these free templates for all over shirts. I'm like, it's free? Are you serious? Man, I gotta pay nothing. And I went over there, boy, I was checked out. I got that email. I was like, boy, she just don't know. She giving the goddamn away for free.
That's the number one visited thing on the website, are the free templates. And I think that it's not just that, because you can find these resources almost everywhere on the web for free. But the idea is I wanted to simplify it, because some people will be like, well, I don't know how to design a small shirt, and then I got to go design a large, and then I got to go design the 3X. So it's like, no, let's put it in a package where, you know, if you would stay within these parameters, this print, this 136 by 44 inch print will press a small shirt all the way up to a 3X. And then you know about that 4X, 5X one, because it's a little bit of a different world on that one. But you can still take the same thing that you did for that one small to 3X template, drag it over into the 4X, 5X template, you know, stretch your background out, take your foreground, stretch it out, and make it whatever you need to make it with a few clicks. And that was the thing. Like the purpose is I want to simplify so people aren't overwhelmed and they don't start to doubt themselves before they even begin the process. So and I get it. Even some of my stuff may seem complicated, but it's only because it looks complicated. It looks like a lot of work, and trust me, it was to prep it, but it's not a lot of work that you have to do. So when you see it and you're like, man, I can't make nothing like that. It's already made. It's already done. You exchange elements. That's it. And then when you learn, like you're probably to the point now where you can take that blank template, you know, background, foreground, text, fade off that photo, add some drop shadow and a stroke to that text. And I designed something from scratch, probably as quick as a 10-minute template.
I'm telling you, I love it. I love it, because I used to get like so stuck. I would get to a certain part, and I always would be a certain point when I used to design, and I would get stuck. And then it's just like, what would Innate do? And it just comes, you know. And
there you go.
I don't design that much. I'm sorry. I don't get to design that much. The most I get to do is like my flyers every week for the show. Yeah. But it's came a long way.
And the principle's the same. The principle is there, and you know how to do it. Next thing you'll be doing is making video intros, and you know, like literally making digital material. You'll be selling stuff as NFTs. Come on now. That digital money. That digital money is what we're talking about.
I am so interested. I'm so interested. I want to. If I get a few more things to slow down, but girl, it is definitely crazy. And that's, you know, I'm into the DTF, and you're getting into the DTF. Could you tell us a little bit about what are you doing? Getting into the DTF? What all you said is he.
So I'm so glad you asked that. One of the things that I want to do is I want to teach people how to optimize for whatever your end process is. So if you're doing DTF, then one of the major things, we fade off a lot of things in the sublimation world to make it look more organic or make it look more pleasing to the eye, that it, fades off into the next element. Well, sometimes well, not sometimes, all the time, if you're going to have that sort of approach, there are some things that you're going to have to do to either make your edges cleaner and have more of a vectored kind of mask, and there's a difference between a vector and a bitmap, or what you're going to have to do is break those down into halftones, into those little dots that look like it's a gradient, but really it's just little dots dispersing and making something look like it's fading off into the background of the color shirt. So my thing now that I want to help people with is, hey, if you're going to go with the solid white DTF background, which is basically just covering the entire colored area with the white, then maybe you want to use this type of mask. So we're going to do a whole class on, I'm going to, just like for 110, I gave y'all masks in order to make your own collage image. I'm going to give you masks that work best for not just DTF, but also like vinyl and that sort of thing. Anything where you're going to have to be more conscious of your contour of your design, right? So we'll have that. I'm going to be showing you, hey, you don't want to use an extreme drop shadow for something like that pops out. You want to use a harder drop shadow. You want to use things that are more solid because it will be less detectable about that white underbase. So that's one thing. And then the other thing is, if you want to continue on the, you know how I am about gradients and fade offs and all those, imaginative things. If you want to continue on that route, you're going to need to either have a really great RIP software. And even with that, you need to know how to work that RIP software, or there are certain actions and features in Photoshop that you can use to make something look halftone, so that when you go to print it, it backs those dots and not the entire image. Let's say you're putting it on a black shirt, you can actually remove how much black you want from the Photoshop image, so that when you go to print it, it only shows those pixels in those areas where you have color. So it makes the design more breathable. It makes it more washable, like wash resistant, because the water can now move through the print instead of beating up the print, like a shield. So that water can't get through the shirt. It's like a shield. It's going to challenge that shirt every time. So it distresses that print. But when you get to having the little dots there, the water can move through freely. It doesn't feel like a big shield on your shirt, and it lets you breathe better. So you can say, hey, my shirts have better breathability. My shirts don't get hot out, because big boy, you got a big print. It's gonna feel different. So I want to get people on that, and not many people. I haven't really seen anybody teaching people how to do halftoning and that sort of thing. So that's an old screen printing technique. We had to do that for our to burn the screens and everything. We had to do halftones in order to make it look like it was a photograph on a shirt with screen print. So it's the same concept.
Yeah, somebody was telling me about that. They was like, the ink that they used, they couldn't use it to do halftone, and so I think that was another thing. And I think he was using my ink for like a DTG machine. He has a DTG machine.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I pretty much figured it was all pretty much the same. But yeah, you can use DTF, DTG. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it was a great victory for me though.
Right. I'm telling you. And it is all about what I remember I did some screen print family reunion shirts, and I used to make my own plastisol prints. I don't know if anybody screen prints, but you can, just like you can screen print shirts, you can screen print the plastisol prints. So I used to do that on purpose because I felt like you mess up less shirts, if you had the prints. And then for family reunions, it was always somebody that would come back and be like, oh, I need 10 more shirts because these people didn't get their money in time. So I would just make plastisol transfers, and then I would press them up like as people needed them. People told me you could not do plastisol transfers with the halftones, with the gradients. So I had developed this real intricate tree that had all of these little halftones and stuff in it. And it was the quality of the material. It was the quality of the ink. It was the quality of the powder I used. It was the quality of the mesh of the screen that I used. And I was absolutely able to do those screen print halftones. And my granny has her shirt to this day that she continually washes, and that screen print is still held up with all those little tiny dots from a plastisol transfer. Because when you get plastisol transfers now, they tell you it has to be solid lines. It can't be less than 1 point of space between. No, it can't be less than 1 point of ink, and then it can't be less than 2 points of space between 2 points. So really, that you will never be able to do halftones according to those guidelines. Well, I
Yeah.
did it, and it's only because I kept tweaking and playing with Photoshop, with doing my halftones, with the parameters. Like I said, using quality stuff like your inks. Quality stuff will get you a lot farther than when you just think you're going to throw anything and everything in your machine and you're going to turn up some magic. I'm good on that. I go with what I know now.
Exactly. One question right quick, Ms. Zena Williams. She wasn't. Is there a? Do you have like a 10? Of course, we know you made it. You probably couldn't see it, but yes, that is an innate. We just the comments was just covering up. Do you have a template platform to make that jacket? Because it is amazing.
So this jacket is okay. This is class number 155. This little print right here. That's also on my scarf. I don't know if y'all can see my little scarf in the background. That's a scarf right there. So I put on the scarf. That's 155. No, 151. Then this right here is the WAP template. The WAP
I remember
template.
the WAP. I remember the WAP.
And we also, that's the one that we do in class. So that's the one where I teach y'all all over. We do that one in class. This one, I forget what class number this is. Did I do this one as a class? If I didn't do it as a class, I need to do it for y'all. But what this is, these are just projects. And I said, you know what I'm going to do? Instead of just doing one thing, I'm going to take prints from different projects we did. And I'm going to create like a mesh of things. So I did it live. It's on one of the videos. The jacket that I got this is from Samar. It's a full zip. And I did class number, what is this? I'm on a spinning chair. Hold on, let me try not to fall off of it though. So the back design is the Candyland template. So it has like, the little drips and all that stuff. So these are all different templates. And it's just putting them together with similar color palettes.
So like one thing I'll say, and I'm kind of glad that you brought the WAP up because it reminded me of one of my questions. No, it's really a good one because when you do your Photoshop classes and stuff, and designs, like you had the WAP. That was a very popular song by Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion. You know what I'm saying? So basically, the reason I brought that up is because like you stay in style. Like you are on like the hottest things that's going in. Like some of these people, this is like, like old. You know what I mean? Right. Like some people will have, be like going to a job and this was filmed 12, back in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? So you make it fun. You know what I'm saying?
I was gonna say that's what's fun. I could have it that some of these templates might be something that I designed maybe 5 years ago. And I'm like, you know what? Matter of fact, the one I did with the roses and the roses camo and the belt, in my head, I've been wanting to see roses and camo for some reason. I don't know why, but I was like, I just feel like it would look like something Louis Vuitton would do, or it would look like something that, the high-end luxury brands would do. Like this one is supposed to be, somewhat kind of reminiscent of that luxury brand feel. Same thing with the pattern print that we have here. It's like we spend all this money representing somebody else. So how can I make it fun that we want to wear our own stuff? And like I said, when the kids want to wear your stuff, when you want to rock your stuff, like, now I'm not putting on my Fendi today. I'm going to wear my Innate Academy. It's like, it makes you feel great. Like I even have my brother tell me, let me get that jacket. I said, you want my jacket? Excuse me? Okay. My brother wants to wear it because I'm telling you, guys are picky about stuff. But if somebody like, you know what, I'll rock that. Let me get your jacket. Okay, gotta wear my jacket for the day. Oh, this is one class number 105 where we did the pattern print for the socks. I just printed out that same pattern print and put it on the collar of the shirt. So it's taking all of these things and saying, how can we use it? How can we feel as good about our brand as we do about paying somebody else for their brand?
Exactly. Hold on. Somebody done gave us a gem that I didn't know. Please tell me it ain't true. You can sew too and you ain't told nobody?
Okay. I used to sew back in the, I told you I was in the fashion design program. So I do know how to sew. I've gone through, kind of some extensive classes, but I did not sew this. my challenge now what I do have is a coach Q. Y'all will be introduced to her. She's in some of my videos too. She's going to teach cut and sew so that I can show you how you can take any Innate Lab template and throw it into a cut and sew, because it's gonna automatically convert for you. It'll automatically convert from this all over t-shirt design to a sweatshirt, a pillow, a hoodie, a tumbler, whatever you want to put it in. We're going to have these conversion templates so that basically now all you have to focus on is how to sew. So although I know how to sew, this was a lot of work to make it look like it's cut and sew, and it has some voids in it and stuff. But basically, I strategically bent my paper and curved it and made it kind of fit in these places. But do I know how to sew? Yes. Have I sewn in a long time? No, but I'm going to get on it because there are so many things that are in my head that I'm ready to put to paper now. So I'm getting back into my fashion designer mode. Like, this has inspired that part of me that's been, for a long time. I wouldn't sew for people because people weren't paying for it. Now we're getting into the mode where people will pay for custom again. So It's coming full circle. Oh yeah, when I tell you I'm gonna have me some asymmetric jackets and just things that you won't find on a shelf anywhere to sublimate. And I'm like, how'd you get that substrate? I made it. And Coach Q is definitely Karita. I don't know if Karita's here tonight, but Q, she's on that. She's on the trends of the cuts, the crop top sweatshirts, the hoodie. It was a hoodie that she did that went with a sports bra that she designed and some leggings that she designed that looked like Mrs. Grinch. Wow. And it was so hot. Like, I'm telling you, the things that you can come up with when you know how you can apply these things. So I said, well, I'm going to team up with Q and she could teach y'all how to sew. Because now that's what I don't have the patience for is to teach a whole nother lane right now. That whole, construction of fabrics and the grain line, and okay, you're dealing with, this is your courses and your wells and your welts and all of these different terms. Like, I'm very familiar with them, but it takes a lot of patience to teach sewing. And it takes a lot of repetition. Like, you have to be, most people that really know how to sew have been doing it for like 20 years. Like, they're just that good at it. And she's been doing it for a very long time. So she has that, I know how to work just about any sewing machine because I've been sewing this long. So I'm actually excited about getting into sewing because she's teaching it. So now I have a reason to put those projects out there, and I have a reason to wear something besides t-shirts and bikie shorts.
That is, one thing I have been seeing lately in Dallas. Oh, shout out to my boy JD. He got his wrench rag, and he done posted his first leg. That's my dog.
Thank you, JD. I appreciate that.
Girl, he been a moderator for 6 months. He come to work, but he ain't never posted nothing. So he went into the thing. He must really like what you said because he would have posted a link.
Hey, that's my guy right there, JD. You good with me?
That's my boy. I was so happy, man. Oh my God, I'm trying to figure. Hold on, let me make sure. Let me look this good. I'm trying to think, is there anything that we haven't covered? God, I mean, this is such.
But, we can always do a part 2. I'm down for that. I love the environment. I love the vibes. This is normally I would be asleep right about now too. Crafty Leo said she almost dropped the phone on her face. I know that feeling.
Yeah, because you definitely have so much going on. I mean, we can really just talk about we can talk about the design in one part, then we can talk about the coaching in one part, and then the inks, then the business is so much, stuff, and then and then you're on a whole other level where you have the coaches, where a lot of it is going, where you're not in it as much, you don't have to answer as many questions. Now it's getting to the point where it's freeing you up to what's next, because one thing I know, great minds never stop working.
Right.
I can just imagine with those screws, or they just turn in and what's planned. You probably already know what's finna happen, and we just sitting back on pins and needles
And see, and I think that's the thing. I get inspired. By, I'll tell you the one thing that I never wanted to do. It was the split template, right? People kept asking me, well, how do you do an all over shirt with this 13-inch printer? And I was like, all right, finally, like here it go. I had an attitude about it and all. Like, I was like, look, I done put this off for 6 months, but y'all said y'all wanted this. Here it goes. I did a video, and by the end of the video, people was like, phew, I don't know if I want to do all that. But there were so many people that had the tenacity. It was like, I don't care how much work it is. I'm going to conquer this. I'm going to sell enough of these shirts doing this tile method that eventually I'll be able to buy my own large format printer. So I was like, okay. So I started teaching classes on how to split it up, and I had this it was daunting to me. I went to bed. I told you a lot of stuff comes to me in dreams. So I went to bed with this huge responsibility. Like, I'm gonna have to get up and teach these folks like how to move this over 0.75 inches and then negative 12.75 when they want to make the next tile. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do something that automates that process for them. So you don't have to worry about the math. You just drag your all over image in there, and it's going to propagate. Hey, if it's up to a large, here's 4 tiles. If it's an extra large 2x, here's 5 tiles. So I did that to optimize, and I was like, you know what? Now I can focus on the truly hard part, which is putting the damn pieces together and bending over and your back hurting because you're trying to do this for 20 shirts. And I was like, I could at least take the guesswork out of it for them so they won't get discouraged. That's my whole thing. If I can stop you from getting discouraged, I know I have a champion. If I can stop you from giving up, I know I already have a champion, because you already won if you can get to where I'm telling you can be. And so I take out that guesswork. And when I tell you, people was tiling these things left and right, one of the Innate creatives did 70 something shirts in one order with the tile template. So that's when I knew the thing that I did not want to do, the thing that I loathed, like I really did. Like, I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm not showing this. They're not going to know what it takes. They're not going to appreciate it. The market told me what it wanted. And when I listened to it, that is my number one selling template to this day. Even when someone else tried to do the exact same thing and actually take the credit for that work, it did not stop the progress of this particular setup. It made people's lives so much easier in that regard that to this day, like, people know that split template. They know where to go. They know what it's worth. I even did an 8.5 by 14-inch version. So people with 8.5-inch printers, I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. But they kept asking, are you going to ever make an 8.5-inch version? No, why would you do that? Yeah. But what happened was they split it up. They got it done. Then they upgraded to the 13-inch printer. So I say this because sometimes the thing that you don't want to do is the thing that needs to be done. Mm-hmm. And you put it out there, you provide that solution. And I had to put my foot in my mouth like, oh, yeah, that's sold probably more than any other classes. It's something that I did not want to do. I didn't think there was a need for it. Y'all told me it was a need for it, and I fulfilled that need. Now, I feel good because I have people out there that know how to do this. I teach a whole class. I travel and teach a class on how to split this image up and put these pieces together and make yourself an all over shirt.
That was the first video that I seen that I ran on to it out, because I was trying to figure it out myself. Now, I did it one time after about 20. I think I tried it twice. I think the first time it like Freddy Krueger tore it up, and then the second time I did pretty good. But yeah, that video
it'll be one little thing that's off now. One little thing that's just like, you know what, bump it, it's good. And it'll have you run into how soon can I order this? What I need to sell to order this 44-inch printer?
Oh my God! I'm telling you, oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Let me give a shout out to my boy Flawless in the building, aka Anthony Alexander, my dog. He loves some
one of my Photoshop day ones. Come on with it.
Hey, I gotta tell you, I told you I was gonna get him. No, he is so. I'm serious. He is so happy. He is so happy. I mean, he was already immaculate on designing, but once you taught that man Photoshop, I mean, we used to sit up and talk, man, because we talk literally talk. And he was like, man, there's just so many things. I'm just so limited over there in the Cameo, man. I went over here to this group, man, and they just took my money. Then he's just like, they were just in a hurry trying to get your he was like, but this lady right here, I ain't even talking about you yet, but this lady right here, she gonna take your time. She gonna make sure you get it right. And then I was like, for real? And that's what I need, boy. Because I'm telling you, boy, because they talk about Photoshop like a monster, but you make it seem like for a second grader can do it. You know what I'm saying? It's
you take that fear
simple.
out of it. Take that fear out of it.
You be up there like, that's it? What was they talking
but
about?
You remember what I was saying about the child? Have you ever seen a child stand up to a grown behind person? Like they'll fight them. Like if that person does something wrong, it's like that child does not understand that I have limits. I have, limitations with my strength. It's like, I'm going to do what I'm designed to do by nature. Right. Because nobody told that child, hey, that adult is, has 20 times your strength. It can throw you across that room. It's like a child is going to naturally do what it is that they are supposed to do unless somebody tells them different. So when you take that fear out of the question and you just say, well, what am I designed to do? And you're not afraid of a program anymore, and that barrier can be broken down. That's what I'm saying. That it's limitless at that point. And that was my whole intention. Hey, I know this thing looks real complicated, but let me tell you this: you click on a couple of smart objects, change out a couple of colors, and when you're at ease after that first class, you don't need to take every class. You can literally play with these templates the same way you learned in those first couple of classes, and it's going to be the same concept, repetitions over and over again.
All you gotta do is move this around, make this a little bit bigger, make this turn this color that way.
Hey, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, and then there's, oh God, I was just like, yes. I was like, yes. So, hold on, let's see. Although the DTF class is going to be available on the Academy.
We're incorporating them. As a matter of fact, there is a class that we did, the young adult design, and we did, I think it was class number 156. I'm not sure. But what I did was I included, normally I have my little complicated fuzzy artsy mask. I also gave you a DTF mask. So that DTF mask is a little cleaner. It's a little, like, it doesn't have as many little tiny splotches around it like the original one does. So we're already incorporating it. My thing is, you don't need a DTF template. You just need to know the principles for what substrate you're working with, what process you're working with, and how to optimize your art for that process. The same way I tell you to stay inside of these guidelines. I don't care if you print a small or a 3X. You stay inside of these guidelines. You never have to worry about cutting your words off, cutting somebody's face into the armpit. You don't have to worry about that because you're following design principles. So I'm just teaching you principles now that apply to DTF, principles now that will take you from, doing this on a hard soft substrate to a hard substrate. Coach Elena showed y'all the other day how to take that printed on tissue paper and put it on a candle. She literally printed the same design for the t-shirt that we did in class and printed it on the tissue paper and made a custom candle with the same image. That had nothing to do with sublimation, but it was just using these things in different ways. She made a candle. She made her own custom box, like the box that you might put your products in. She laminated that and used the 157 class to sublimate her box, to give it a random pattern with her logo on it. So I'm telling you, there are limitless ways you can use this. The only limitation is you just thinking, oh, it's got to be a shirt. So that's why I started doing the master mock-ups. The master mock-up, it has a tumbler. This class right here is what, 150? Y'all kept telling me y'all want to do tumblers. So this design is the same design that's on my sleeve. Foreground, background. Take your foreground layer, group it, drag it over to your template layer, take your background layer, save it as a PNG, drag it over to your Tumblr template, and this same design in the mock-up, the master mock-up will mock everything up because of smart objects. So whenever you drag that background in, it's going to change the background of the hoodie. It's going to change the background of the tumbler, the background of the journal. We did a journal. That was a popular thing. So whatever it is that you want to design, these things are so versatile. We just have to show an example one time of how you can go outside the box, and then y'all take it and y'all run with it from there. Because once I show y'all one time, I promise, like, I don't even think it's mine anymore. I'm like, is that my template? Like, y'all did the thing on that. I'm telling you, it's you. And as long as you start knocking down those barriers, you can figure out how to use it next. DTF and everything else.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. I'm so sorry. Okay. I'm sorry. Thank you, Best Uni. I'm sorry. There were so many people that was trying to that was asking how to sign up for the newsletter.
Oh, so they
And
can get the $7 templates. Okay, so
hold on,
just
hold on.
go. I made a quick video. Did
Here we go.
I?
Wow, is
I
that
put
it
it up
right
on
now?
YouTube.
Is that it? Is that the website?
It's just innatelab.com. And if you go to innatelab.com, I made a little quick video showing you how to sign up for the newsletter. You sign in, you hit your account on the left-hand side. It says newsletter on your, on your dashboard. So you hit newsletter, and then you just make sure that it has a checkbox that says that you're going to get the newsletter. So I sent out the newsletter today, and I'm going to send it out again tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon, whenever it finishes sending out a newsletter. So those will be all the people that will get the special code that tells them what they need to put in. And that same code works for Innate Academy and Innate Lab. And anytime I do flash sales now, that's the only way I'm doing flash sales. I'm only going to give it to the people who subscribe to my newsletter, because I don't be spamming y'all like that. I don't like, the only time I'm going to let you know something is big news. Hey, I got this, I got a conference coming up. We're going to do one in Miami, one in Dallas. And yeah, we're coming to Dallas.
Oh, it's going down. The big boy in the house.
Yeah, we're coming to Dallas, and it's going to be a 2-day retreat now. Instead of trying to do everything in one day, we're going to do a 2-day retreat, and we'll have an activity, Saturday night. I'm thinking something fun. We'll do something. We might do like a competition, a fashion show competition or something like that. We're going to pull something together. And then will be a Saturday and a Sunday session. So we'll do the all overs. We'll do beginner Photoshop classes, and then we'll do intermediate ones, because some people are already been a part of the academy and they just want more in depth. So we'll have both of those. We'll have some cut and sew classes. That's going to be a really big addition. And of course, we're going to incorporate the bling with the sublimation too. And I'm hoping to do some DTF. So,
that bling. Oh, that bling with sublimation. Oh my God.
Oh I want to introduce DTF as well, because it's something that like everybody's curious about, but most of the time we can watch something on YouTube, but when we get to see it and touch it and really ask somebody, because I tell you, man, them questions don't end. You think we having a long conversation now, when y'all get me in person, them questions don't stop. And I don't leave, like, you know what I'm saying? I don't like, okay, well, it's 5 o'clock, time to go. Like, I literally, like, you get your time, you get your experience, and you get to ask your questions, you get a feel for what it is that you want to do next. And normally those questions just naturally arise, like, especially, when we're in the element of whatever it is that we're doing. So I enjoy it. It's like, I'll tell people now, it's not a money maker for me. It's actually cost me more money than it makes, but it's an experience for me, and it's a part of growing my brand. It's a part of my marketing. I would be paying Facebook right now to advertise for me, right? So this is a part of me getting in the mud with everybody, like showing y'all I'm here. I'm going to make sure that you understand how to do this. And my thing is, once I leave, I've imparted something on you, and then you're going to continue that some other way. So it's right now, the whole concept of it is just that we get to, like, basically have a craft and slumber party. Like, can you imagine, like, everybody just there, just making what they want to make, getting the information they want to get, and then when you go home, you're so charged up, like, you're like, oh shoot, I know what I'm about to do next.
I'm excited already.
Yes,
I want an autograph. Can I selfie?
I didn't even think about that. Hey, I signed my receipts now, and I'll be telling people, hey, I'm gonna be famous one day. You might want to keep this receipt. I've been saying that since I was a little girl. Might want to keep that signature.
So, hold on, what is it? I mean, because one thing I definitely know, a lot of people already know, you're not, you like, hey, it's nothing. You innate, you cool, because we see you doing a lot of different things. What is it like just to have people, I'm sure you've had people come and say, oh, innate, I love you, thank you so much. How does that, is that where is my admin? What is it like to have people come to you, like, oh, they love you, they just appreciate everything you do for them?
that it's surreal. Like that's how I can explain. It doesn't feel like it feels like a dream. Like and it's not just like the people recognizing you or feeling that you're famous or anything like that, because I don't have that yet. And I say yet because I'll claim it. But what it feels like, it's like, you know what, if you got a chance to meet somebody who literally gave you keys to something that you couldn't figure, like a car that you just couldn't figure out how to start up, but you knew it was worth something. It's been sitting in your yard for years. I had people that had paid Photoshop for 2 years, and all I did was grind your key down a little bit to where when you turned it, it actually crunked that car up.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm doing. I'm not the vehicle. I'm not the engine. I'm not the part. All I did was I took a little bit of sandpaper and I made that key do what it was supposed to do. That's it. And for me to feel that, like, oh well, this is because of you, man, that's one responsibility, but it's so much more of an honor. Like, I feel honored to do what I do, and to hear that is that's the ultimate reward. I like that, that's why I do the in-person things, because it's not that it takes me away from my shop. It takes me away from the things that I'm developing and working on. That travel will drain the mess out of you, and then you don't get stuff done. You got emails backed up. You got TSA darn near, pulling stuff, out your drawers to get through security and stuff. But it's like, it's worth it, because when I get to experience that in person, the same way they feel like, oh, I'm around Shannon, I feel like, oh, I'm physically around y'all. And it makes it worth it. It puts it in perspective. And it's like I said, it's not the cost that it is, it's the experience, the energy that we all go home with, and the inspiration that we put in those laptop bags and we take back with us. I can't put a price on that. So I will do that, and I will continue to do that to see how this grows and develops to the point where, like, the people that I'm teaching will actually be teaching these classes soon. Like, this is how this is really growing.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you a question. How long have you been running the Innate Lab to see, like, how long did it take for it to grow to the part of where you have the coaches and you're ready to...
The academy officially started around, was it the summer of last year? I taught my first class, my 101 class, and I taught it via Zoom. And that first class was 7 hours long. It was, first of all, I did it at such an inexpensive rate, because I was like, I want everybody to have access to Photoshop. So I did like a $20 class, and all these people signed up. And it took so long to get through it, but everybody stuck around. So we had to do 4 hours one day, and I was like, look, this is what we're going to do. We got through this part, and I was teaching people to design from scratch first, remember? So I taught them, how to, bring it in, throw your paint splashes on there, type your text, pull in your picture, all of that from scratch. So 101 is literally a from scratch template. And all I'm giving you is not even a template. I give you the blank. So you have to build from the blank template. So after that class, we started to actually to do some regular occurring classes. I was like, well, you know what? I think I can do this every week. And those same people started showing up every week, and they were paying $60 per class. And I would have 4 classes a month. And so that was really adding up. And I was like, you know what? For the people that's been like my ride or dies, let me let y'all pay $60, and then you can take any live class, all live classes that month. At first, it was just one live class, but then you got to get all the templates. Then it became, well, you know what? Y'all are still coming to every class, and y'all are paying to come to these live classes. I'm trying to give you the templates for free, but just come to one live class. Then I said, you know what? Now the VIP members can take all 4 live classes for $60, and you're going to unlock the templates. Even if you miss a class or whatever, you're going to unlock them still. So it became this kind of homage to my supporters, who really had helped me make a thing of this thing. Like, cause I really could not have done it without the staple people that just kept coming to class, kept getting better. And then their design, because I will tell you, I'm not going to say I've been blacklisted kind of thing, but when I put out work now, it somehow doesn't get seen, or it gets taken down, or unless I'm posting in my group. So here's my thing. I don't have to do that anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would love to, because I love to teach, but the way that kind of element is going, it's just like, you know what, that happened for a reason. So now I back up from that, and the people who are using these templates, whether they're coaches or not, I'm talking about just anybody that uses a template. Every time someone uses it, they're like, "Oh, that's Shannon. That's Innate Lab." So it became recognizable. So I'm glad for that. You know what I'm saying? So it made a name and a brand for itself. It's recognizable. People love it, and although I do feel like I have some opposition, it's not like it's taking me down. It's actually made me get smarter about where I want to place my resources. And that's what I said. I want to actually teach people. I want those people to be the resources for people, because they can't shut everybody down just because they're using a resource. So yeah, all of that, like I said, it'll take one thing. Just to you want a wooden to do something, tell them they can't. Tell them it can't be done, or tell them they can't do it. And automatically, whoo, baby, I'm in that grind mode. So that's where I am, and I think that's where, like, everybody around me is just focusing on their lane. You focus on paving your lane, your road's gonna be smooth. You worried about, you can't take care of all these other lanes and all these side roads and what goes into the rural area and all of that stuff. You focus on your lane, paving it, and then everybody gonna want to drive on your lane because it's smooth. They gonna pay you know how you pay the toll to get on the smooth roads?
Yes, ma'am.
They gonna pay the toll to get on your smooth road because you paved it. You made it go directly to where it needs to go. You don't have the traffic. You don't have the wrecks on your stuff. You have a way for them to cleanly get from point A to point B because you put in the groundwork. And then you're not worried about all those other routes.
And that 10-minute template is amazing. That thing is amazing.
Well, we have 5-minute templates now.
I believe it. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like really, once you get it down, get to understand it, you just whoop whoop whoop, put it, pop, pop, throw it together, and it be looking amazing.
Yeah, we got 5-minute templates now because I was like, you know what I want y'all to be able to do next? Go to shows and do on-demand design and printing.
Wow.
So I have, and they don't even take 5 minutes. If you have like your teams already together, imagine going to a basketball tournament or a football tournament or a baseball tournament. They have all these teams there and everybody wants something to represent their kid or whatever they're there for. A track meet has all the schools at one place, right? Mm-hmm. You could literally have the logos ready, have the colorways ready. Boom, smart color change, boom, logo change. You drop the photo of their kid in there and you already have the background cut out with remove BG or whatever it is that you have to immediately take that background out. You have an instant print. Oh, did you know I can put this on a tumbler? I can put this on a t-shirt. Yeah. I can put this on a pillow. I can put this on a stadium cushion if you want to sit on it. And every time you get up, somebody see your design. If that's how you want to show out, I got it right here. You just bring blanks. You bring blanks and then you get on your job as people need things. And so that's one of the things, like I said, I have to open up the coaches to do this, the work that I'm doing now so that I can start teaching things like pop-up shops, on-demand printing, what do you need, checklist you need for a brick and mortar, all of those things. If you want to do literally a mobile business, like you want to have a trailer that basically is set up to do work mobile and remotely, you should be able to do all of those things. And that's what I'm developing these packages for. Because now that I know what you need, I can start developing those solutions.
I was definitely thinking about something like that before I got into the DTF supplier. I remember last year I was telling my homeboy, because, like you say, the pop-up shop, with a lot of if you could have electrical power, you could literally take a picture, while they're there 10, 15 minutes to have it printed on something. And I was telling people, my mom had a birthday and they had a place where you could take pictures, but they had those funny bodies or something like that.
Right, yeah.
If you get somebody with a little background that don't cost nothing, a little funny body, you can print it out.
Hey, this is what I'm talking about, big boy. Guess what? You don't need anything. You need a green screen. Green screen. And what happens is you have your you know how these these Snapchat filters work, right?
Yeah.
And you're in there and it'll change your body up or put bunny ears on you or whatever.
Yeah.
That all you need is a green screen. Somebody stands in front of the green screen and you say, hey, do you want this football background or do you want this Candyland background? What is your theme? So when you come to the event, you already know the theme of the event. So if it's a circus or a carnival, you have that. You go to HBCU, I had my HBCU-ish stuff already ready to go. I changed out my characters and I had colorways picked out. So I would have the FAMU side, I would have the different sororities and fraternities, their colors. So I would do HBCU-ish, one design that said HBCU-ish. So that's not infringing on anybody's anything. And I would change out the character. So the sis over here be like, you know what? Well, I got short blonde hair. You got one with short blonde hair? Boom, one with short blonde hair. Can she be wearing pink and green? Because we AKAs. Got you. But my sis over here, she got curly long black hair. And I would find a character with a curly long black hair. She can be pink and green too. Yep. Put her in pink and green. And I had and this is what I like to call mass customization, because it's not straight up customization, because you came out there with a theme, an idea, a template. But that one template, I changed it out however many times I needed to suit that customer. And if they wanted the already done, pink and green, AKA colors, HBCU-ish, it was one price. If they wanted to customize the characters, it was $5 per character. So when I had to go search for that little character to pull together their little group, but they were okay with paying for that because they wanted the characters to represent their clique. So like, I want my 3 homegirls on there. I want them to look like us. So that was something that really, like, I would not have known it unless I went out there and played with it in person. And then the market told me what the market wanted.
And you did you just did one not too long ago, what do you call it? When you go out there and you sell,
the pop-up. Yeah, I did one for kids, and I taught as a matter of fact, the kids ran the pop-up shop. The random kids that never knew anything about sublimation, never knew anything about Photoshop. They got to sit down with me. They got to design their theme. They got to type in their words. We're doing one on the 22nd. I'm having some kids come up here to the shop and with my niece and nephew, and they're going to create their own creations, because that's where I get ideas of trends from, because the kids know, where the trends are. So we did that with the kids. They made socks and they made t-shirts, and it was a back to school thing. So it was a shoe drive that Kwame Brown was doing. And I wanted to add to it and say, hey, because he's into like kids building trades. And I was like, well, this is a trade that they can start making money now, developing skills now. So they went to school with their custom gear on first day of school, because this is right before back to school. And when I tell you, they were so like proud of their creations that it made me feel like, okay, well, that's not my town, but I dropped a seed over there. And then somebody called me back that next week. Hey, can you do this for us now? Or you think you could come back and do a bigger event with the kids? And like that's the type of thing I want to do, these workshops. And then it doesn't have to always be me. If I have coaches trained, they're doing workshops in their local community centers, giving back. There should be grants for this type of thing. There should be money thrown at this type of thing. And we should be able to get paid to, one, help our communities, and 2, actually build something that we don't have to be there later for. So it's a win-win all day. And we don't have to do it for free. I used to think I used to have to spend my money to do this stuff. Yeah. And that's but see, this is why I have to back up, because I have to find the grants. I have to find the resources so that I can put my people in place who I know can do this. All of my coaches I know can do the same things that I'm doing right now in these classes. And they have the same energy that I have. So they're going to inspire those kids. They're going to inspire those communities. I also like, you have people that come out of situations like prison and they don't have good job opportunities. So you need something that you can build for yourself so that you can get in your kid's life. You can pay to play now. Like, I can pay my child support. Baby mama ain't mad at me. So now I can actually get in there and be a part of my child's life, and I can teach them some skills because I'm becoming an entrepreneur. This child can learn entrepreneurship right beside me. I can, like I said, I'm looking for gaps. That's a huge gap. We need to fill that gap.
Can I say something too about that? A lot of people just don't understand, especially about, because I know, look, 10 years ago, I was fresh out that penitentiary. Fresh out. And one thing I know, most men, you went to the penitentiary, you're not really good at listening and taking orders. And the t-shirt business is a good legal business where you can make enough money, provide for yourself. You can literally hustle and provide, you know what I'm saying? Right. And I that is a huge, huge, huge thing to me, that because I don't really like listening. I don't mind giving the game, but and
it's like after that institutionalized part of you will never want to be controlled again, will never want to not have your freedom at your own liberty, and you don't want to have to work for peanuts to survive and have to be condemned every single day. I get it. And like I said, you want a way where you can reconnect with your family. You don't want to feel like a man feeling like, oh, I got to beg my mama to take me in, or I got to go work for $10 an hour and I still can't afford my own ride, so I have to rely on other people. The hunt is real. And when I tell you that if that can empower men, especially men in these underprivileged communities who are coming back to these communities to actually establish and build something, that like I said, win. And that's all I'm looking for, solutions that actually grow us. And if that could take somebody else the same way you hustle this, you can hustle that, and it's actually legitimate. And you can inspire your children while you're doing it. You can inspire the community while you're doing it. The same way they looked at that. I remember in the community when I worked at the community center for free, but eventually it turned into a paid job. The kids will be like, you know what, Miss Shannon, this what I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be that when I grow up. And they would point to a car. And I'm like, what's that? Well, you know, it's only two ways to make it out of here. You either work for the prison or you do that. I was do what? They knew exactly what was going on, but that person had a nice car. The person that worked for the prison, yeah, they worked them long hours. They got that overtime, but they had to be subjected to seeing their own in a certain position. But that was for the two jobs that the kids knew about. And they automatically chose as kids that was going to be what they wanted to see and what they were okay with, not understanding the risk, not understanding that there were other options out there. Like I said, I didn't know there was a such thing as being an inventor. I didn't know that existed. When I was in my PhD program, there was a professor that came, real cool white guy, and he literally would get paid to teach one class a semester. Everybody else got paid the same salary, and you know, professors work their behinds off publishing papers and doing these projects. And I said, I didn't want to publish no papers. I hate it. But this one professor would come in because he was an entrepreneur, because he was somebody that already made his millions. They paid him the same salary to come in here and teach one class and teach people entrepreneurship. And when I heard what he did, I was like, well, what do you do? Well, you know, I have a few inventions, and then I do this, and I just, you know, I teach a class every semester. I was like, what? That is the life. And I would have never known it existed unless I had met it. So once I heard that, I confirmed to myself, that's what I want to do. I want to teach one class a week, and I'm okay. I make the same amount that I would make as a professor right now.
Dang.
I make the same salary. Actually, I make more without having to publish papers, somebody else own my ideas, and I can scale it. 10 years from now, this program will probably be worth 40, 50 times what it's worth right now. And that, like, but that's the beauty of when you own it, you can lose it just as easy. So it's not like people can't always think it's just the icing. So it comes with a lot of responsibility because you have to maintain it. Like I said, otherwise other people be creeping up on you, but you have to maintain it. But the drive, like I told, like you're saying too, when you come out of a system, I've been a part of a system. I've been a part of this educational system. I've watched my brother go through the prison system, and coming out of that, that's actually one of the things that inspired me to start this business. Because I knew that me having a PhD, I can go anywhere. I'm a female. I hate to get into the details of it, but I got lighter skin. I know how to talk a certain way. I can get almost any job that I want, anywhere that I want, but the same does not apply for other counterparts that I know and I love, right? Man. Like I said, I saw the system. I saw the medical system mistreat my father. I saw this system label my brother with lies that were told and immediately convict and fabricate evidence and lose evidence. I've seen all of that firsthand, things that I did not ever think could exist. I've seen it firsthand. And it gets to the point, like I said, it hurts you, it breaks you down. And then the thing is, what are you going to do? Are you going to be a victim? Or are you going to be your own hero? I don't play that, oh, I'm a survivor. No, are you a victim? Are you your own hero? So I decided that we got to be our own heroes. We got to. Because the thing is, somebody looking at you right now and saying, you know what? Like, people be embarrassed to say, you know, I came out the system, or this, that, or other. And I'm like, nah. The fact that you're here right now shows that there's somebody out there that needs a second chance and needs to understand that they won't take that chance out there on the streets because they know what it's worth. They know the value of their existence. And we can prove that here and now. And I think that's what we're doing. And that's why we're getting the love. That's why we're giving the favor. That's why we're giving the blessings. That's also why we're giving the responsibility and the weight. And it's going to be heavy. It's heavy. It's real heavy. But it's okay because you can handle it.
Yeah. I like to be an example to show people, something happened early in your life. You can still turn around, have a great life, and you ain't gotta go back into this and that, and you can do it. You know what I'm saying? You can do it, and if I have to be the poster child of it,
know what I mean? Put it on me. I can take, and that's what I'm saying. It has to be something that you're gifted with to even feel comfortable carrying that burden. To be selfless is an honor. It's a burden, but it's an honor.
Yeah.
And you're giving your life to, that's as close as you can be to a martyr. Like, I'm gonna give my life for the cause, just to show you, for the culture, for the cause. Here I am. Here's what I stand for, and I'm gonna expose this so that you don't have to feel like you can't do it or you're embarrassed about the process that it takes to do it. Like I said, if I would have listened to people tell me like it was embarrassing to sleep at my shop, it's embarrassing. But you're sleeping in something that you don't own, or you think you own because you're paying a 30-year mortgage on it. You're going to get a reverse mortgage on that by the time you owe because you can't afford to live. So they're going to take your house right back and your kids will have nothing. Like, I don't listen to that type of propaganda because I know what it's for. It's to build fear. When you're scared, you'll believe anything.
It's and that's the truth. And that's, like, that's why I was like, I had to, just, man, getting out and just being able to, just show the people like, look, man, you can do this. It's amazing because they try to take everything from you. They try to take everything. So I'm so happy.
We need this. We need you. I promise you that. We need more examples of you. We need you to light this fire for 10 others that thought that they wouldn't find somebody that looked like them to get the same results that they didn't think they could get. This is what we need. And I'm 100% a supporter because I can never say, oh, I know what it feels like, but I've seen it. I've seen it firsthand. I've experienced it. I have empathized with it, and with everything in my body, I am ready to put up whatever it takes to make sure that we build. And the first thing, and I didn't want to make this like a whole, preaching, kind of thing, but the first thing we have to do is we have to build our communities back up. In the huge missing link are our Black males in our communities, period. That is the hugest missing link. We don't have our protectors. We don't have our inspiration. We don't have the muscle that it takes to show our women that we're protected, to show our kids that we're protected, their ideas are protected. Like, I feel very lucky that I had this dark-skinned 6'3" man towering over me as a child, and I always felt protected. Like, I felt like I couldn't imagine something that couldn't be done. I don't know what my life would be like if I did not have that figure in my life. And I know my dad dealt with all kind of opposition. He would come home crying. My daddy didn't eat dinner for almost 12 years of my life. Never saw him eat dinner.
Wow.
He would have food for us. I learned how to cook at an early age, so he have enough food for us. And I'd be like, Daddy, here's your plate. No, y'all eat. He never ate dinner at home. It would be nice. So he would cry at night, and I would rub his hair. I remember rubbing his hair as a little girl, like, it's okay, Daddy. It's okay. Like, seeing that is, I'm telling you, I wouldn't give this up for nothing. I promise you. And that's what we need. We need that back in our communities because it's there. It's there. It exists. We need to expose that just as much as other things are trying to be exposed. We need to expose this because once that's in place, we end up healing. And like I said, we can be a victim or we can be our own heroes. Ain't nothing else in between. And I think I didn't know this message was going to come out tonight, but big boy, I'm thankful for it. I'm appreciative of it because this is what we really need to be talking about.
I thank you because, like I said, I try to talk about it and I try to bring it up, and this is the stuff that like I want to get out. You know what I'm saying? The real, true stories.
Amen.
Real
Amen. So we're gonna have some books. Trust me, we're gonna have some books to put out. We're gonna have some books, and it's gonna mean something to somebody. It's gonna mean something.
Yeah, and you know, I look at it like what you're doing is great, is magnificent. You know, I hope that I can make it to like your level. What you're doing, you're making history. You know what I'm saying? Your father is like looking at you like, man, you did it. You know what I'm saying? You passed it down. You know what I'm saying? Your father's legacy, and he is, you know, he is happy. You know what I'm saying? And I'm kind of like, and I'm trying to do the same thing. So when something happens to me, I leave something to my kids, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. You know, it's good for us to be a person, but when we have a business on our name where we generate and we have revenue, you know, I'm not saying that just power, but it gives us a little. Okay, well, he has a company, he has a successful, because he's making money. That's that speaks a lot when, you know, in case something does happen, you know what I'm saying? But more than just people, you know, speaking, which, you know, it shouldn't be, you know, a person speaking, it should be enough. But when you know, a lot of these people that have big companies behind them, that's, you know, with unlimited amount of money, and that's, like I say, what we trying to do, you know, pass down this generational wealth, because
absolutely.
Yeah, that is, girl. And then you have, girl, I'm telling you, the best ones. You just be like, you know, I be trying to hold back. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to hold back. And girl, you done went so hard. You done activated the people, girl. I ain't lying.
Hey, come on. Oh, okay, Nicole.
Hey, thank you so much, boy. And then, Miss Nicole, I have to get this all the way. I have to get this to Miss Innate, because that story, you touched her, you broke her down to where, you know what I'm saying, it's just like she had to donate and bless us. That's what I want on the big. We want the real of the real. A lot of these people, they have these platforms, huge platforms, and they just want to hide, and they don't want to share, and they don't want to love. Right. Not over here. We want to give everybody their kudos. We want to give everybody their gems. You know, if you out here in these streets, you working hard, you putting in the work. No matter if you 100,000, 5,000, or 500, you might even have 5. You know what I'm saying? If you out here and you working and you giving the positivity, we need you on the show, because we need that real. And I want to definitely give special shout out to Innate coming. I mean, just, man, breaking down the organization, just telling us all the way from the real to the personal. That is love. But hold on, let's give a shout out. Thank you, Miss Nicole Hughes. Thank you so much. Y'all know how we got to do it, because she's a lady.
All right, Nicole.
Miss Innate, we definitely gonna have to have a part 2 of this, because this was beautiful, amazing. And when, I don't know if you already have a date for Dallas, me and the crew, we gonna be in effect. We definitely gonna be there. We definitely gonna have to hook up. And I know there is so much that I have to learn from you, because you are so full of knowledge. And, you know, I like a lot of this stuff I'm getting into, I'm just learning. So I am like trying myself to be like a sponge, you know. So, because,
well, think about this, big boy. I think September they're having an ISS, which is a sportswear. Basically, have you heard of the ISS Expo or convention? Mm-hmm. They have one in Long Beach in January. They have one in March in New Jersey, and then one in Dallas in September. What I'm thinking about is having a weekend where we do Dallas, where we do our session, and then actually attending the ISS show. So I think, you know, as, you know, influencers too, if we can go to those shows, show people what's there, show them the equipment, you know, what all the hustle bustles about, what the next step is in this industry. Like, it would be so cool to be out there and be a part of that, and to expose it to people that don't know anything about these expos, and maybe what's up and coming. and potentially network and advertise while we out there. We gotta put on for ourselves, and I think that's going to be an excellent opportunity. So I definitely would love to plan something where we get up as collaborators and maybe do a lunch or a dinner out there for that convention, and still get to enjoy the convention, and then we can write it all off because it's business. It's all business. Yes, 100%.
Big stakes for everybody. I'm sorry. Yeah, that is definitely. I definitely want to try to make Long Beach convention in February, but excuse me, in January. I think it was January 21st to 23rd.
Yeah, yep.
But our business.
Yeah, I just came out there from California. We did the workshop in LA, and if I had known, I would have planned it better. I would have done it at the same time so that I could enjoy both things, because it's a lot for me to get from Florida all the way to California.
Amen.
Woo, that it took a little bite out of me, but I definitely could foresee doing maybe Jersey and Dallas. So, and then of course we have Miami planned as well. We'll probably be doing that sometime in April. Just not solid on the dates yet. I want to make sure everybody's able to come out and have their funds together to make sure that they can make it a good experience.
We gonna be there. We gonna be in there like swimwear. You just let us know the date. We we ready. We truly blessed. Things is really taking off. Things really blowing. And I'm sure it's the same for you. I mean, it's just so we are definitely ready to start making trips. And that's one thing about me. I know there are so many great creators. And I think we need to, you know what I'm saying? We need to get together and share ideas, and because I hate to say it because it's YouTube, but I feel like YouTube is like, well, you get popular, then they give you the money. Well, we already got the people, so we need to have our own because I hate for us to be like, well, I can't wait till I get it so I can get that money from YouTube because they gonna pay me. No, pitch your own product,
right?
You know what I'm saying? You don't need. I ain't say I don't need it. I'm going to gladly accept it every time.
Exactly.
But it won't be like, oh, I can't pay my. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly.
I think that's. I tell people all the time, you need a product. I heard that from Stan. You need a product. You need a product, and that's what's gonna make you the money, not YouTube, but your product. That's all yours. Can't nobody. So. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I can't wait. I'm so excited.
Me too.
Thank you so much. Now, there is one question that I ask everybody before we leave the show.
Okay.
Miss Innate, what is it in the future that we can expect to see from you?
I'm looking into developing some software that will essentially do what we do in Photoshop. So in the blink of an eye, you can drop a picture and pick your colors and it will do exactly that. That's why I'm working so hard. That's why I want that to be something we all have literally on our phone devices. Like that's how quick you should be able to design, get your ideas out there so you can focus on, like you said, the product, the money, the building, the scalability of your business. That's it.
Yes. Man, this was amazing. I promise we got to do it again. We're going to have to link up, lock up. I mean, you have so much knowledge. It's just, I was so excited. I don't know y'all going, boy, but when they come on, it's going down tonight. I'm telling you.
We did a marathon.
I say, hold on. After the night, I'm telling you, it's going to be some people who are going to learn who Big Boy is, and it's going to be some people who are going to learn who Innate is. And it's just going to be two powerful forces when we all come together and we teach everybody, like, look, we are a force if we work together, because once a few people over here get to meet a few people over here, we come together. That's what they want. Hey, the power is in the numbers.
That's it. It is written. It's so, I say. It is. It's so. It's already done. It's written. I promise you, everything that we said tonight is already been in the works. It's already done.
Amen, man. And then I thank you so much. I just want to we're going to close the show out. I want to tell everybody oh my God, hold on one second. I almost forgot my exit. I'm sorry. We're going to close the show out. Hey, I want to tell y'all, thank y'all for coming out. Rocking with the big boy. Y'all know what it is. Big boy. And we out.
Bye.